What is up, everyone? Welcome to a very special event. We're hopefully going to see some really crazy and awesome reveals tonight. Thanks to everyone for joining us in the chat already. I know I was a little late on that, but I was driving and to be honest, I kind of forgot a little bit. With me, as usual, is my buddy Carson. How's it going, Carson?
Doing great, eating meat, drinking whiskey.
We didn't plan that at all, by the way. I had no idea this was happening. The whatever it says below there, that's a lie. It's not actually Kenrick. It's not the person.
Sigmar lied, baby.
Yeah,
Sigmar lied.
Sigmar lied. God dang it. That's too perfect. Oh my gosh. And special guest tonight, we've got Riley Beefy Crunch joining us. What's up, man?
Hello. What's up?
Are your bodies ready?
I hope so.
I don't know if I can take it. It's been like the Interstellar meme came true. It's been 8 years. I joined the hobby again, or pretty soon it'll be 8 years since I joined the hobby again, and I've been waiting for new Skaven models properly this whole time. So naturally, it's going to be Lumineth, right?
Yeah, I'm expecting Lumineth.
Who is Kenrick? Yo, let me introduce you to the cinematographer extraordinaire who is changing the channel and just we're reimagining the whole thing. We talked about it last night on the podcast. Carson kind of announced what's going on, but Kenrick is the guy who's going to be just changing it and making the whole thing better. This, of course, is Carson, but I'm talking about Kenrick. Yeah.
Those are very kind words. Thank you. It's a team effort for sure, but I'm excited to be on the team.
Oh man, it's going to be great. Yeah. Oh, you can't hear Riley super well?
Let's zoom up. Is that better? Can you hear me now?
I don't have the Twitch open, guys. Actually, here, I'll open up the Twitch right now so you guys can see that I do have it. It's just on the immortality is a curse. Yeah. But I thought you might want to see our pretty faces. But yeah.
Boo. Nobody wants to see that.
Here, I'll turn up the music just so I can get a copyright strike. Does that make you all happy now?
GW doesn't use copyrighted music.
No, they don't. Well, they don't. But then every time I do one of these reveal shows, I get a copyright strike. And they inform me. Yeah, and it's usually not GW's. It's not even usually their music. It's usually the algorithm getting it wrong, and it thinks it's someone else because they have it way turned down. But
right.
Yeah. You said it's not great. Can you turn up your mic a little bit, Riley?
You can see what we can do.
The gain, perhaps? Or... It's coming through on our end fine, right, Kenrick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you guys can't hear... Can you guys hear Kenrick okay? Because they're on the...
Testing. 1, 2, 3. This is me.
1, 2, 3. Skaven for you and me.
Skaven.
Skaven
and
again.
Stormcast.
Yeah.
Forever. Man, it's hard being Carson. This is really difficult.
I know. The meat dimension's a tough place to live.
It's so meaty over here. This mustache keeps falling off of my mustache.
It's the humidity of the meat.
The meat sweats.
The meat sweats. I get those. You hear Carson okay? Okay, I'm glad to hear it. We're just gonna have you like yell like lug nuts. Just constantly.
I can be loud. Don't worry about that.
Nice. Yeah, you don't worry. I can do loud.
I can do
it. Put me in, coach.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot of meat.
Oh dear. Oh man. Okay. So let me know in the chat while Riley's making adjustments and whatnot. What are you guys hoping for? Is there anything that you care about other than Skaven? Like, are you like me where it's like nothing else matters? You're looking for meaty ogres? Deathworks? We've got some new people in the chat tonight. It's nice having you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm guessing is that Riley's influence?
Oh.
I kind of hope so.
Hello, people back home.
Yeah. Yeah, he's coming to you through the internet, even though he normally comes to you in person. So. Behemat? That would be cool. Skaven. Just Skaven. That's me. Ogre Cav.
Even Steven.
Oh. I wouldn't be mad at that. The only downside is I would have to back out of some deals I've made to split some boxes.
Depends which side you want it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What is it? What's that expression? There are two great tragedies in life. One is not getting what you want, and the other is getting it.
That's right.
I think it was Oscar Wilde. I can't remember. I'll put us back so you can see our pretty faces for a little bit. It just still says immortality is a curse. They're not even doing the questionnaire thing. So
They're a little behind, probably.
Yeah.
Their internet probably crashed.
So has anyone... We don't need no stinking Stormcast? Well, we kind of do. Well, we don't... Need is an interesting thing, right? Like... Do we...
I want it, baby. I want it.
I know you want it, right?
Every day I wake up and I think there should be a whole new line of Stormcast.
Don't listen to him, folks. He actually made the most cogent and reasonable response to new Stormcast models ever on the Saga of Dice Discord. And if you want to join the Saga of Dice Discord, there is a link below. We'd love to have you. If you come on there, introduce yourselves, let us know who you are, and because usernames be crazy. If the Skaven aren't adorable, I don't want them. Man.
That's the wrong fantasy.
That is a... yeah. Are you thinking The Secret of Nim? Because those rats were very cute.
I kind of think they're cute.
They're cute to me, but...
Yeah, they're lovable rat dudes.
But I mean, I had a
They
dog...
probably smell terrible, though.
Yes. I mean, I had a dog before that I thought was adorable, but I think probably it was objectively not. Maybe kind of the opposite of that. My first dog. But I thought he was adorable, right? Have you ever seen the ugliest dog competitions?
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. But I
So bad,
get
it's cute.
exactly. I can see what the owners see in them. Yeah. No, it wasn't a pug. It was like a chow fox terrier mix, and yeah, it was. I don't know. It might have been cute. I but I'm just saying. I only see them as, I see my Skaven. They're my fuzzy wuzzies. They're the reason I got back into this hobby, man. So. Adorably disposable. Warpstone gets it. This man or woman is you get it. That is absolutely what yep. Nail on the head.
Dom's blowing up the chat. Hey Dom, this one's for you, buddy.
Yeah. That's cool. I don't know Dom, but I used to know a guy also named Dom, and I was like, wait, Dom's here? And I was like, wait a minute. He's not into Warhammer. What? Yo. Splinter rat. Yeah. Pizza rat.
Oh, things are happening.
Oh. Well, what's going on? Oh, here we go. Don't worry. I will turn off our... Oh, are we seeing something?
Hello and welcome to the Adepticon Preview Show 2024. My name's Lewis, and I'll be your host for this
I
brand
did
new
the wrong
show,
thing.
bringing you all the latest releases from the Warhammer universe. We've got announcements from Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000, Warcry, Warhammer Underworlds, Warhammer the Old World, Kill Team, and loads more. There's certainly something for everyone, and with that in mind, we've called in our top team of Warhammer presenters to talk to the fabulous people at the studios to give you the lowdown on what's on the way for your favourite games systems. And boy, have they been busy. So, without further ado, let's get started with our first reveal.
Wow. Right into it. No quizzes.
They're moving.
Chaos Lord.
Oh,
Right? 40K. We'll start with the low-key stuff. Ooh.
Ooh.
Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Oh wait. This is the old stuff. I was like, so confused. Oh, okay. Damn. Ooh.
Let the galaxy burn! It looks like the Chaos Space Marines are back.
Okay.
And the long war is going to be fought with renewed vigor with the return of the Chaos Space.
What do you guys think?
Now, thanks for joining us. We've got Stu and Josh from the Warhammer studio here. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Bunch of
shiny new miniatures.
British dudes sitting around a table.
Tell us all about
Oh,
it.
you mean the models?
Yeah, so two Chaos
Yeah,
Space,
yeah.
Dresser? That Chesterfield?
kind of fan favorite in the Chaos Lobby jump pack.
They
So he
look
comes
pretty
back in about
sweet.
4
I've been enjoying the AoSification of 40K for a while.
Nice. Yeah.
They do look much more dynamic and interesting than the old school. I love
agree.
Chaos Space Marines.
So yeah, very exciting.
They're very.
And 2 battle forces.
You've got a lot of
as well.
character.
Same release. There's too much chaos for one box.
There is too much chaos for one box.
We should
And
call
also
it any
try to
kind of
ensure
rumor
that
engine
those
we see.
boxes give you a slightly different kind of miniatures collection.
Ooh.
So actually, if you want to go all in and get both, just give you a really good.
I mean, there's only one new unit, one new kit to start, or one new hero to start,
No
but
release like this.
I didn't
Right.
see any.
About the Codex.
Sure.
What can Chaos Space Marine fans
And by the way, I don't know if anyone cares about what they're saying about it. If we have any 40K people in the chat, let me know. You know.
Go to somebody else's chat.
Yeah. Like we're gonna try not to talk too much when they're talking like about super important information, but these are, you know, this is 40K, right? I'm glad they're getting the unimportant stuff out of the way first, you know. Dominic says boo.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll end up buying the new Lord. The new Lord is pretty tight, man. I actually think that model looks pretty awesome.
Could convert them easy too.
That's true. Yeah, if you want to do like slaves
Whichever your style is, there's a way to play.
to darkness.
Fantastic. So whichever
YouTube algorithm, please don't cancel me.
An entire army of expendable cultists.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late. I've already been ejected into the stratosphere,
There's also others as Josh
into the
said,
Chaos
that lean
Wastelands.
into a particular style that we associate with some
So they were showing a bunch of kits that had already been, because like the Demon Prince was there and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The first unit and then the hero.
Okay, they're just padding it with the other stuff.
It's just pictures of all the units in the book.
Yeah, because I have that cultist kit that they showed. I use them as spawns for Zeech. Or some of them I use for spawns, but yeah.
They'll probably talk 20 minutes about this. 40K.
Maybe. It'll be interesting to see how long because I've heard, and I think you said this as well, Beefy, that like it's not an hour show like it normally is. It's longer.
It doesn't make sense time-wise why it's 2 hours after this started, they show it online. Or after it was live, they showed
Right.
it online.
The preview show. Yeah, it's true.
Dudes in power armor, right?
Yeah.
So how do we make those things feel differently?
Do you think we'll get to see models from the box set?
Empowered by the
100%.
Yeah, I think so too now.
Carson, what do you think?
Yeah, Carson, what do you think?
From the AOS, the new AOS set?
Yeah, yeah.
I really hope so. I'm so afraid of these reveals because I always go in just being like, they're going to show this and they're going to show that. And then they just show like one model and you're like, oh.
Oh.
But I really I feel like they're going to do more than just the trailer. I hope.
Yeah, so... I'm sorry.
There's no Warhammer Fest this year, where it was last year.
What? Really?
After they said that on February 6th, I just found that article. The
What?
Warhammer Fest, where they revealed the whole 40K box the last time.
Yeah.
We got this, the only preview we know of right now, and then nothing till who knows. So it could be that's why maybe it's a 2 hour show, hour and a half. Maybe we see the whole reveal.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely. By the way, I just want to highlight what Keith said. He said, props to the guy who's in shorts and a nerd shirt. It's so true. Like as the guy wearing a Skaven battle tome, Skaven hat, and has a Skaven whiskey glass. This man is, he's the guy. He's the man of the people, right? Yeah.
He's at least dressed up like he's the man of the people.
Yeah, that's true. At least he's a good undercover agent or something.
The other three just grabbed their wardrobes off of some mannequins on the way.
They got dressed by the dressing team, but it didn't fit him. He did a little bit belly.
I like to think he's like, get that off of me, like a child. Like he just doesn't want to put on his winter coat, you know? Oh.
What a way to start, and that's not
Okay.
the only thing from the 41st millennium we've got to show.
Oh, here we go.
I'll get our pretty faces off the channel.
Mortal Realms, baby.
Next up, we're traveling deep within the mortal realms.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Deepkin? Oh no, was that
Warcry
Sylvanet?
and OBR.
It was a bald guy. OBR. Oh, nice. Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, that's cool.
There's
Oh,
a lot.
they're crazy. What on earth is that? Damn, those are kind of cool.
These are amazing.
Yeah. Where nature and nightmares.
They're not dark.
Whoa, they're not war dancers like we were told. That's for sure.
So there we go. Warcry, Briar, and Bone is on the way real soon. You can almost smell it on the air. My name's Nick. Joining me is John from the Warhammer Studio.
Hello.
John, Warcry, Briar, and Bone. Tell me all about it. What we got?
Okay, so very, very exciting box set. We've got brand new bespoke warbands, both the Ossiarch Reapers and the Sylvaneth. In addition to which, we've got the Ravening Narwhal, which is a giant, horrible creature.
What?
It's really, really cool. It's a really, really nasty, horrible piece of terrain, which we'll get to in a little bit. So the Tyrannic cohorts are a bit of an oddball one for the Ossiarch Bone
I didn't even
Reapers
see the
because
terrain
they're
piece, did you?
effectively Exiled construct. So the thing is with the Ossiarch Bone Reapers is very, very little goes to waste.
What?
Okay?
Oh!
Everything is built for
Whoa!
purpose.
Is that it?
Sometimes the purpose is punishment. Okay, so each of the creatures
the law pit of
in the
tree.
Tyrannic cohort, in addition to the
sign me up.
are creatures who are being punished by the Ossiarch Bone Reaper, some kind of perceived failure. So, you know, we all know that the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, you know, never flee, never retreat, win all the battles all the time. Well, that's just patently not true. Okay, every now and again, something doesn't go quite right.
Definitely my case, yeah.
And either it's somebody's fault, at which point you're to blame, or, you know, today it's your fault, so you're to blame. So what you end up with is a group of very fast, very mobile outriders. And part of the exile is they don't want you around anymore.
Oh.
Okay, so these creatures get sent out into the very, very
What?
outer wilds of the very.
There's two of you now.
In this instance, this particular warband is
Oh,
in the
dare
north.
you, sir. This is awkward.
The Ossiarch Bone Reapers are already starting to
Goes off right now.
Oh shoot! One thing I didn't.
that they'll be made from. These are not exceptions, so they're crazed, ferocious, feral, but they've also got a certain element of clinical death-like, emotionless about
There are
them.
two of them,
So
guys.
they're warband.
Who's the real one? It's like the Spider-Man.
And the model's fantastic.
I don't know. I've given up though. I'm trying to find the stream. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that's
here, I'll send
effectively the hook there is with the eyes of Catacross. So not Catacross themselves specifically looking through them, but their masters can just see through their eyes because they're effectively outriders. So so the Centaroid is in charge of all this.
Bone
It's his job to
Centaurs,
kind of keep everything in line and make sure and whip things into the right place and get things going where they're supposed to be. And the warband itself has a unique mechanic which doesn't exist in other warbands across Warcry yet, which is quite cool. So we're trying to investigate different ways of applying resources that everyone's familiar with in very different ways. So what they get to do is they get to spend wild dice.
They
on
do
these
look great,
abilities in order to
Dyson.
empower them. So you get a short-term reward, and the opportunity cost there is that later on you're not going to have that wild dice to get initiative or boost it triple into a quad, whatever it might be. That's very much their shtick, as it were. They're quite powerful individually. Certainly the two bodyguards and the Centaroid are very strong. They're pretty decent fighters overall. The other fighters in the warband, the Bone Beasts and the Harpies, they're not
Dang
quite
it,
so
Keith,
powerful,
you
but
got
obviously
me,
they make
man.
up for that by just being
Just like, what went wrong
being able
now?
to support your other fighters in their attacks.
And we've got a Sylvaneth warband in the box
Okay,
as well. the
let me-
Twistfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me
Very,
about
very
those.
exciting. Okay,
Sylvaneth-
so the Twistfield are
yes.
really, really cool. So their background is that each and every one of them is infected. Okay, they are not regular Sylvaneth at all. They've got a horrible infection, which is corrupting them from the inside out.
What?
And one of the reasons they're called the twist wheel is because the Alariel Song of Life,
Oh,
they hear it in a very, very different way. It's all corrupt to them. The strains are all very different, so they don't quite interact with them the same way. And what they're doing is they're trying to get back to Alariel in order to be cured. So the Swarm Sage in particular has dedicated themselves to trying to cure the twist wheel of their corruption and obviously expose themselves to it as well. And the danger is there that you get cut off from the Song of Life completely and you end up with this horrible warped, twisted creature. And no one really knows what happens there. But what the Swarm Sage is effectively doing is easing out the corruption. Because the corruption is like, you can see it on the models themselves. And the Swarm Sage uses its little crazy swarm stuff to just chew off the corruption and literally tear it out of their flesh. And
Where's the... Oh, I see.
But there's power in that, because once the corruption is torn out of you, you become more energized and you're able to hear that Song of Life a little bit better. The warband itself functions around the leader and dealing damage to your fighters in order to boost them up.
Oh, great.
And they can heal themselves as well, because naturally
yeah,
healing is a huge part of the Sylvaneth fiction. But the actual playstyle of the warband is, yeah, you want to go hit things, because that's part of Warcry, go stab things, profit.
That's
but at
like
the same time,
the Spitlings or whatever they're called, the Spitling Swarm.
Very, very careful.
I know, crazy, right, Eric? Like, he's been cloned.
Is it more difficult than it sounds? Or is
I can't tell the difference.
It's
not.
Well, the difference is one of us is Karsten, one of us is Karsten. So.
Oh, now I get
so
it.
you need to have the abilities in order
to do
so most of the time you're like,
that's true. So the one on the bottom left is Carbson, and the one on the bottom right is Carson.
I've got to decide who gets damaged when.
That's right.
By the abilities I've got, and then obviously you can heal them up as well. Okay, and then the quad is pretty beefy as well. It can do a lot of damage.
My
I think
Nurgle
probably one of
Swamp
the most
will
interesting
welcome
things for this warband are the variety of different fighters. So you've got some corrupted dryads in there, which are regular dryads, but again they've got the horrible corruption. It's actually a lot stronger and a lot tougher than a regular dryad. And you've also got some tree revenants in there as well with a variety of...
Are they going to tell us about the terrain piece though?
There with quite a large bow, and they've got a very interesting profile. Very excited to see what people do with that, because it's damage done in a very, very different way. Range damage, I should say, done in a very different way than we normally do it.
Every base troop.
And then you've got some fighters who are actually quite tough for Sylvan fighters. There's some toughness 5 fighters in there with shields, which is quite good. And
he's just talking about Warcry stuff.
And then of course there's the corrupted.
Let us know when they get
with the
like actual rules, hey? Like AoS rules.
Also comes with
they won't talk about it.
And he's like, they're toughness 5, and everyone's just like, what?
You've chosen a good one to be your favourite. It's one of the more creepy pieces I've seen so far.
Here you go.
So the Ravening Normal is a so
wow, the bribery
like
started.
any other Narloke, it's a giant predatory flesh tree. Burrows into you, drinks your blood, and then hangs you from its branches to just slowly drain the life out of you.
It's an awful place.
It's horrific. Now,
that's
these things are terrifying. and the Narl is full of them. And of course, the Narl is also full of just people who live there or around.
He's considering it. He hasn't responded yet.
They get into their heads that maybe they can kind of half tame one of these things. That's impossible. It's a laughable concept. Taming anything in Gur is generally a very bad idea.
Yeah, we can't even... Who's to know who's the real Carbson? And who's the real Carbson?
Put glasses on too. Oh no.
Yeah.
And when an Narloke doesn't really need to go anywhere to feed, it kind of turns into one of these things. It's one of the many different creatures this thing can spawn out of. Because obviously the magic in the realm can twist things in all kinds of horrible ways. So effectively what people will do is they'll go, okay, as long as we feed you, could you just scare off all the other Narlokes and maybe eat whatever is moved? Now, the Narloke has absolutely no concept of what's going on, really. It just gets fed every day, so it sits still, right? But yeah, people will drag it up onto those...
Sorry, I thought you meant like in the background of the stream, the trees behind them started moving or something. I was like, oh my god, what's happening?
But, you know, it provides a bit of interesting... It provides players an interesting question when they're playing the game. That, okay, so
yeah, I don't know.
It's a platform, it's high up, it's a vantage point. It's quite
At first I was like listening, and then I'm like, oh, they're just talking about Warcry rules.
Move up there, pick up the treasure,
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, in comes the clothesline.
It looks like, you know, I played it in the past. It's pretty fun, but...
It's a great looking coffee table, though.
That is a great looking coffee. Oh, what do we got? What's going on? Oh, shoot. Is this Underworld?
Ma's an ogre thing, isn't it?
Isn't that was a ghoul, right? Whoa!
Ooh.
Wait, what? What on earth? That's crazy!
That's the guy.
Whoa!
Those are great looking models.
No kidding! Sheesh. Wow.
My guess was way off.
That's... Wintermaw. So, what are the other guys?
So there we go.
The
new
non-FEC.
Warhammer Underworlds box
Like,
is just over the
they kind of look
horizon.
like cities
My
almost,
name's Nick,
like-
and I've
Yeah.
got John with me from
Blood
the
City
studio
or something.
to talk all about it.
Like Iron
John,
Maiden.
good to have you
kinda-
here, man.
Thank you very much.
What is Wintermaw? Tell me.
So
Two
Wintermaw is the
latest
next
armies.
evolution in the story of Deathgorge.
Right.
So Deathgorge was a large ravine, and now what would happen is we've gone beneath that again.
Under the underworld.
Even deeper underworlds.
Even deeper
Right,
down
under
there.
the underworlds, yeah. It's
Kale?
absolutely awful down
That's
there.
savage.
No one's having
That's
any fun.
hilarious.
It is a miserable, horrible, cold, frigid place to be. There are horrible giant worms trying to eat you alive. There are horrible parasites crawling in the dark, trying to eat your brain, drink your soul. It's just terrible. And obviously we've got these poor unfortunates here.
And they swapped out the
right
tabletop
bang in the middle.
quick.
Hmm.
It's almost like this is all pre-shot and pre-recorded.
What?
An absolute
The
crazy.
When the
magic of...
tabletop comes off.
Their delusions are keeping them.
Catapults the previous thing away, and then two henchmen come and drop the next one down.
Scramble
Yeah.
in.
That would be awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Like
there's
a
something here
stage
for
play.
everybody. If you're a current fan of Warhammer Underworlds, you've got 2 brand new war bands. You've got a staff
I like
band in there as well.
the
Loads of different play styles, loads
ghoul
of mechanics to engage with.
monster
And if you're brand
chick
new to the game, again, it's absolutely
with
perfect. You've
the-
got everything in there you need to play the game. You've got your rule book.
I don't know, whatever that thing on the left there with the cleaver.
You can just play both the same one.
Oh.
They've all got rivals decks. There's plenty of like
She's
replayability in there
horrifying.
as well. You can swap rivals
I
decks
kind of like the
around.
city's model that looks like
Nemesis, you can
an
do rivals with
Iron
it.
Maiden on stilts. Or
Yeah,
something.
totally. That's
Or an Iron Maiden in a trench coat.
it's a flasher version of an Iron Maiden.
Tell us about them, John. What
Yeah.
we got?
Like
So where to
blah,
start?
blah, blah,
Let's
blah,
start
blah.
with the delusional Flesh Eater Courts, or the arguably just as delusional.
I hear you, Dale.
Brethren of the
Actually,
We'll start with the slightly more delusional ones.
Slightly
wish
more
they would
delusional.
just
Right, so
do-
we'll go for the Flesh Eater Courts. So
I wish they had
this
some
particular
pictures.
Warband, their whole shtick is walking up to enemy fighters and whacking lumps off them.
I think
with
like
their
right
massive cleavers and
afterwards, don't
chains
they
and
usually
all the rest of it.
post like an
Preparing
article with all the
meat
good
in the
picks?
perfect
They
way
will,
to
for
serve
sure.
their role.
Yeah.
Starting up
They're
now.
broadly speaking,
I love her.
What that means for people who don't understand the term is they're all about getting stuck up in your face and.
Oh, I love that guy too,
all the
though.
horrible
The
musky
giant
cleavers
cleaver
and spikes that they've got attached to themselves.
and the bat
And the way this
monster.
warband functions, which is very different, is that there's no recursion.
Company
People don't
cleaver.
come back to life.
Oh, that's so cool.
Ordinarily, what would happen is as soon as you kill a ghoul, 3 more to replace them. However, these are all very, very highly trained chefs, right? They're the absolute peak of their art. So they're not very easy to replace.
man.
And as a result, you only get what you start with.
Okay, so they sound absolutely disgusting, but on the other side
bad.
of the board, we've got the Brethren of the Bolt.
Correct.
Who
True.
are these guys?
Okay, so the Brethren of the Bolt are they're part of the Cities of Sigmar faction,
Okay.
broadly speaking. They're all human.
Officially.
For now.
Mileage may vary. And they are effectively the worshippers of Sigmar. They're the crazy flagellant side of things.
Oh,
They
cool.
have a very, very unique alignment in the sense that they've
He's
all been in some
rad.
way, shape, or form struck by
That's the
lightning.
coolest one, though,
Now, Some of
right?
them believe that they were intentionally
The man
struck
in
by
the
Sigmar's
metal
divine
trench
lightning,
coat.
so they were
Yeah.
just hitting the head really hard. But they've all got some kind of interaction with
It's so original.
Assyrian heavenly divine
by lightning?
lightning in some way, shape, or form. And they do a couple of unique things.
I don't-
There's 2 really big ones that I'd like to touch on in the time we've got, which is that the first one is they all start inspired because they start with this kind of etheric charge attached to them. Every time they blast you with their divine tasers, what happens is all that
Divine
charge goes out,
tasers.
nukes whatever's in front of you.
So
That
Storm
can't-
Cats landed on them.
At which point
And
they
they
need to be
band
recharged.
together.
So what happens is
I can't imagine that has ever been used before, though.
So it
Divine
can increase the
and
range of your attack
tasers
actions,
in the
which is
same
really,
sentence.
really good. So it means you're never really quite safe as the opponent. You've really got to play around them very carefully. But effectively, whenever you tase an enemy through one of your friends, they inspire again and they get charged up, which is great. They're a lot of fun to play. They're quite hilarious. Some of the cards are very funny too, and they're really cool.
So the Wintermaw box doesn't just come with those warbands, it also comes with 2 rivals decks that anyone can use for any warband.
Okay.
Tell us about those.
Absolutely. So yeah. So again, really good attempt. To
Not interested in your underworlds chicanery.
Next.
Yeah. Carson, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, cool art I'm here for.
So these horrible.
I actually really like that art, to be honest.
Oh, Karsten, your mustache is falling off, by the way.
It's always falling off.
Okay.
Hi, Carson.
Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, Carbson is the guy who, like, only eats carbs. As opposed to meat.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think this would be a short season of Underworlds or a long one?
Ooh.
I have no concept of what an Underworld season even is.
Yeah.
It was short. It was like 6 months or less.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Before it was longer, just with more warbands.
The position of either the fighter with the parasite, be it your
Jason said, "Darn it, yet another box game I will buy just for cool models to decorate my shelves." Hey, man.
Attaboy, Jason.
Yep, there are worse fates.
That's how they built Nottingham.
Nice. Yep.
So they paved those roads.
They're pretty nice roads there.
Do they? I'll take your word for it.
Just made out of sprues, melted down sprues.
Yeah, that seems safe.
There's more coming up soon.
Oh.
Some fantastic releases there, and that's not the only announcement we'll have for Warhammer Age of Sigmar during the show either.
Oh,
what could it be? I hear you
else.
cry. Well, more on that.
So they're going to
later.
show us something else.
Yeah.
Until then, check these out.
Old World. Ooh.
Ooh.
Target rack or something.
Yeah, it does. Oh, man.
Whoa.
Whoa! Yo, that thing is rad.
God damn it. God damn it.
God dang, that thing is so sick.
You can hear the money leaving Carson's wallet.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds happy, though.
Oh, wow, what a miniature Abraxia,
more than that.
Spear of the Ever-Chosen. We are joined
This guy
today
did
by
like a
Matt
wardrobe
and Phil
change.
from the Warhammer Studio guys. Pleasure to have you with us to talk about this great new miniature. Phil, I'll start with you. Abraxia, who is she?
She is none other than the right-hand woman of Archaon Everchosen. This woman is in
Whoa.
control of the Varangard. That is no small feat because, of course, every member of the Varangard is a Chaos Lord or above. And so she has essentially got incredible martial power. She's been tasked with striking into Gairan and snuffing out the flames of hope that Sigmar has established there. Now, she has a spear, Gorbolgo, which is like essentially a mutating spear. Anything touched by that will turn into an awful Chaos Spawn. It will also mutate her unless she keeps the range, unless she keeps her concentration. And the one time she had a lapse of concentration, horns grew out of her head. It's essentially
I hate when it happens.
it's a test. It's a test from Archaon. That spear is
Damn.
very dangerous stuff. To see if she's worthy of the role.
What?
She's riding the Thanatorg, this great scaly beast. She hits like
Thanatorg?
a ton of bricks, and behind her come the Swords of Chaos themselves.
Yo.
That's so cool. So the inner core of the Varangard, aren't they? This
Absolutely, yeah. And we see her essentially cutting a red swathe.
Oh,
through
is this going to be
Gairan.
for Dawnbringers?
It doesn't go all her way. She unfortunately contracts something rather nasty in the process from the flesh eater
Alongside
chaos
Dark Oath?
and starts to get the delusion of
No, she did her
flesh
own thing.
eaters. She has to go and deal with that by conquering a certain place. But no spoilers. You have to wait and see.
That's great.
Minor spoilers.
Minor spoilers. Minor spoilers. Yeah.
That can't be helping keep on top of her spear, can it?
Well, indeed. Well, that's a journey. We, right from the get-go, we see a character that is really having to keep the balance and hang on, like for dear life. And whether she makes it through, whether she has the willpower and the skill, you'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, quite overt price of power.
Yeah. Well, it's Archaon's world, so this is the big leagues, and she, as you can see when you see her on the battlefield as well.
So speaking of which, she comes as part of Abraxia's Varan spear, so it's her and 3 Varangard.
What?
That sounds devastating. How does she play on the battlefield?
Yeah, so obviously, given her role on the battlefield, kind of as the head of the Varen Guard, she has very, very strong synergy, particularly very strong command synergy with Varen Guard. So
This might be a hint as to what's to come for
cool seeing
AoS4.
that. As Phil talked about, her kind of mutating spear that can have a risk for herself, can power up. Can
Yeah,
kind of,
like just
do
heroes
damage and
attaching to
mutate
units.
nearby enemies. But it's really the synergy with the Varen Guard where you're really getting that big value. You can also take Abraxia with Battle Line Varen Guard in her Army of Renown featured in the book, and that gives you a whole new host of tricks to build and play with an army that is one of the most elite armies, if not the most elite armies in all of Age of Sigmar. Really focusing in on the Varen Guard and their power.
That sounds absolutely terrifying.
You get painted straight away.
You probably expect nothing less.
Yeah.
From Archaon,
Is that something about like how Abraxas can be
thanks
mutating
for joining
enemies
us,
near
Matt.
her or
Phil, if you
something?
don't mind hanging
Yeah.
out,
Until
we've
one of
got
her
more
abilities?
reviews.
Because that's what her
Hang
spear does, right?
around, folks. We've got more
Yeah.
to come.
Oh my god.
Huh.
So over the course of the Dawnbringers story arc, we've seen 2 crusades, the twin-tailed crusade.
Yeah, we haven't seen this
in
much
our
AoS
favourite
content
role,
ever in a
much
reveal
like
show.
Gairan. And they have had so many trials and tribulations over the course of this storyline. We've seen them rise and fall, have moments of triumph and moments of real
Holy
tragedy.
moly.
Yeah, this is incredible.
So what we've seen in actually in Hammerhall Akshay is the Crusade heading out eastwards. They think they've found somewhere there that is viable, that they can defend, which is the ruins of an old city called Embergard. And it's kind of like a haunted place, really. And they had a lot of trouble with nasties in the basement. The Night
Haunted,
there.
You say?
But they have now managed to claim that space. And Sinestra and the Cult of the Wheel have taken that place with conviction and faith. Now in Gairan, we've seen them thrash their way through jungles and forests, scabrous sprawl, swamplands, mangroves. They've basically had a horrible time of it trying to get up north to found their own city called Verdigris. Verdigris is looking like maybe that's going to work out, but we'll see what happens over the course of Dawnbringer 6. Abraxia, the Spear of the Everchosen, she is the right-hand woman of Archaon himself, the Supreme Grand Master.
That model is unreal.
The Varangard are like elite Chaos Lords. Every one of them is sort of Chaos Lord power. She's fought her way up from the fighting pits of the Varanspire. Ever since she was a child, she's been really good with a spear, and she has no morals at all about who she kills and when she kills them, so she is a real fearsome character. The only catch here is that Archaon doesn't fully trust her and actually wants to test her. So he's given her a spear called Bolga, this magic spear, and although it mutates everything it touches, so all you need to do is scratch your enemy and then they devolve into a horrible spawn thing, it can also do that to the wielder if the wielder loses their concentration. That did happen once in Abraxia's history, and that's why she has those horns. It only took a momentary lapse of her concentration and she started to mutate. So with that spear, Archaon is testing Abraxia, provided she stays in control. So long as she does, things are peachy, but she cannot afford to fail. So we talked a bit about Abraxia right at the top end, the higher echelons of the Chaos power struggle. Right at the bottom there, we have tribesmen, basic people like you and I who are trying to get by out in the wilderness, and the Dark Oath exemplify that. They make bargains with the Dark Powers to try and survive, and Gunnar Brand and his family are a great example of that. So Gunnar Brand himself is not just a big fighter, he's very powerful in combat, but he's also kind of the brains of the operation. He's a very clever dude, and he doesn't really want to see his family slide into chaos. Neither does he want to particularly kowtow to Sigmar. He, like all Dark Oath, he's got a massive chip on his shoulder about the fact that Sigmar basically bailed on them, and they had to resort to these dark methods to survive.
He's the guy from the animation.
He's got his daughter Singri with him, a sort of expert horse archer. Tanari Tackblood is his rival, the War Queen. Now, unfortunately, it's not that simple if you're enthralled to chaos. He starts getting involved in the Archaon's grand plan and the pawns that are moving around the board, and some hidden forces that are lurking in the shadows that are also effectively using the Dark Oath as pawns. So running parallel to this story, we also see some old friends, Vandus Hammerhand and Korgus Kol, the mighty Lord of Khorne, his nemesis. Now these are characters we brought into play at the beginning of the Realmgate Wars.
Yeah, we've heard this
many years ago, 8-9 years ago now.
Vandus.
From essentially a small vendetta into
this is going into those rumors like
Vandus Hammerhand. All he wants is to get his revenge on Kull. Kull killed his sons in a former life way back when he was mortal, and he is definitely obsessing about it now. It's kind of bringing things off kilter and actually maybe splitting the crusade and splitting the loyalties of the people that should be united in the face of chaos to pursue his own agenda. Now Korgus Kull, all he needs to turn into a demon prince is that last skull to cap his pyramid, to the real capstone to what he's been working on all these years. And so he has his own agenda, and it doesn't go the way you think it might. So I'm looking forward to people seeing how that story, that ancient rivalry, actually ends in Dawnbringers. So
I've actually heard
is
about
not
it,
only
but I don't.
ending an era, the era of the beast, where we've seen destruction in the driving seat. We see that come to an end in Dawnbringers, but we also see the beginning of a new era. And there are signs for those who are paying attention of what that might be and where that might lead. On a personal level as well. So Vandus is a good example of that. He is not his former self, and his journey, he's almost exemplary of what the Stormcast have to deal with as they die and are reforged and die and reforged, and their souls pay the price over time. So where his journey leads is really interesting, and we'll open a new chapter of the story as a result of that. So one of the great things about the Dawnbringers series is we've seen people on the ground, boots on the ground story, but throughout that there have been little happenstances and agendas and clashes where a greater story is unfolding.
What the hell is that?
It's been done in secret, it's behind the scenes because the people orchestrating that story, and I'm talking gods here and demigods, are not keen on showing their hand until the last minute. And it ends with this great climactic explosion of violence. Of course it does, it's Warhammer, and the Mortal Realms will never be the same again.
Wow. Hounds of Chaos. Sheesh.
So that was a fantastic video showing off Dawnbringer 6.
Who's this guy?
Here with me is Phil.
Phil doesn't have a last name.
No problem. So we've seen the Twin Tail Crusade set off from Hammerwatcher and Hammerhole Gyra.
Like Cher.
Faced an awful lot of trouble getting
What happened to Carson?
Can you
He's gone.
Phil Workshop. Hey guys, it's Kenrick. Sorry I joined late.
Oh man.
Logged in here.
I'm just glad you're here.
Sigmarite cities.
Eat your vegetables.
It's a statement of intent, really. Sigmar
Yeah.
Like flannel and beard and slick back hair with like dragon fruit behind you. Like, good God.
I put this on hoping you were going to be wearing flannel. I took a shot in the dark. I was wrong.
We know one city will rise and one city will fall, and that leads us into some new characters and some new adventures.
You mentioned new characters there. We've got Abraxia, the Spear of the Everchosen. Can you tell us a little bit about her backstory? Because we've not seen her before.
We discussed a little bit about how she's the preeminent warlord of chaos and the leader of the Varangard.
There are 6 Dawnbringer books.
She grew up in the fighting pits of the Varanspire, the 8 Points. So this is a kind of a sub-realm where chaos rules.
What do you think, Carson, of Abraxia?
She grew up there, and she has had a very
think I'm poor.
history.
Go broke.
An infant, really,
I think that's what that means. That's what this book means, is that I'm broke.
All the chaos tyrants and
yeah, baby.
And
It's
Does that kill that one? Is that the one that
Archaon is actually testing her, essentially, and testing her as a general.
Using Gyran for that Dawnbringer Crusade. Does she kill that one off?
She better not fail.
We've seen the Forces of Destruction, the Forces of Order. This feels like a culmination.
I can't hear you super well, Riley, FYI, but
its mark on the Twin Tail Crusade.
Sorry.
Give us a little hint.
Is this better?
The plan is.
I think so.
Obviously,
right?
The Forces of Order have by no means overtaken
Gyran. You think she kills that Crusade? One Crusade failed.
Very much in the driving Sigmar.
Maybe.
The forces of Sigmar, the God King, are trying to strike back, and they've.
I can see that if they're introducing like a new big chaos character, that being the one that is the result of a Crusade failing, then that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I like that.
There's a chaos force nearby waiting to knock it down, and we've seen various incarnations.
I actually just can't get over that model.
But this is a real precision strike. This is Archaon sending out his brightest and his best to make it.
I'm like almost angry that it looks so good because I have to buy that and the Dark Oath box, and I'm just like, come on, you guys gotta space this out.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna be like, all right, the first book of 4th edition is ogres, and I'm like, oh god.
So you've mentioned the forces.
No, it'll be slaves. You put them all in one book now.
That's right. Yeah, slaves and then ogres immediately
There's
after.
mention of the Nexus Chaotica.
Or they come out at the same time, like they release them in 2s, right?
Against each other.
Battle block.
So metal.
Yeah.
Essentially, this is a kind of like a power siphon.
Sapphire.
On the street.
Where they place these things, much like the Dawnbringers are trying to put their Nexus siphons and their Aquiliths and so on,
what is that?
Essentially drain the land of the magical force.
Like some kind of terrain piece, I guess, for chaos.
The chaos version is corrupting and twisting and bleeding.
That's pretty dope too, right?
In this form.
I can't tell if it's something they made as like a diorama piece or if that's actually
draw on the power from the Nexus.
a reveal.
A base on it though.
I think it's a terrain piece because I'm not recognizing any of the individual pieces from anything else.
There. Thank you very much for joining me, Phil.
No problem.
And for everybody at home, there's some more fantastic reveals coming.
What?
Now we are cooking. Another set of absolutely awesome releases and some really insightful stuff from the studios on what's to come too. Very exciting stuff. Now, time for a little teaser and another reveal.
Okay. Which one is it? Oh, this looks like 40k.
Yeah, it's gotta be Kill Team or something.
Oh, probably.
Anyway.
Ah, Heresy.
Oh, is it Heresy?
Yeah, because I think
that was it.
Trailer.
That was the whole thing. They're like, next!
Oh, that's it, yeah.
Well, I guess it was Mars, and then they showed...
Right.
Mars, and then they showed the Adeptus Mechanicus symbol, so I'm assuming it's Mechanicus and Horus Heresy.
Could be. It could also be Dark Mechanicum because they also come from the same planet. Although it does say Heresy, and Dark Mechanicum's already in Heresy. So, what's going on? Wait, what? Old World?
Only a teaser.
Oh.
Old World.
Ooh, dwarves in the old world.
That's kind of cool. I think these are old models, but I honestly
Goblins did
can't
not
tell.
age well.
Yeah.
Old.
Are they?
Old. Axe thrower.
The axe thrower looks kind of dope, though, to be honest.
Oh yeah, old dwarfs. Look
That is
pretty
old.
rad.
Yeah.
Bugman's new.
We've got Kratos and more Kratos.
Doom Tinker's
Those
old.
look sick. Those look sick.
Damn, that's kind of dope. That's new, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's the one new one that gets the splash page.
Right.
2 new ones here.
That one guy is sick, though.
The Lord on Foot,
So,
the Slayer
we've
Lord.
just seen a
he's new.
fantastic video showing off some
The
beautiful models.
King carried or Thing carried by guys is new. And I think Bugman's new. I'm not 100% a Bugman. He's either really old or he's new.
Really?
I think he's really old because I feel like I've seen that model before.
I think so too, but I wouldn't put money on it for sure.
I would. I'll
Okay.
bet you $1.
I don't have a US dollar.
We gotta go to the currency
He's
exchange.
old.
There's not very many of them in North Van.
I'm looking at him right now. He's old.
Okay. I will bet 25 cents that he's old.
Doom Tinker's to be metal again, probably. They break so easy. I have 10.
You have 10 of the axe thrower?
Yeah, the Axe Whirly dude.
Yeah. Oh, those guys, right on.
I have the Grudge Thrower. That's with the name dude, name Slayer engineer.
What about that axe throwing like device?
Yeah, that's Micaiahson's Axe Thrower or Grudge Thrower.
Oh, cool.
It's older. I have it in metal. It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, that model like weirdly holds up to me.
Right there.
Maybe it's nostalgia goggles, but we don't care what they're saying, right?
Not really. They're not going to give us anything else.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like Colin Robinson on the right.
He does. It makes sense that he plays the old world.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd just be like, but I thought I could roll my charges after I moved, and then you just see his eyes light up.
Grudge Thrower doesn't make sense because it shouldn't be in that timeline.
Oh, yeah? Dwarves are old, man. Like, not
But
just
I
the
believe
models.
when they introduced it, it was new because it was in a novel as well.
Oh.
Micaiahson's like a famous engineer through time. He's made all kinds of things.
Oh, okay.
He made the airship for like they're on it for 2 of the Go Trick books.
Big Ron, Your Honor, he says Berman is old. But what about Bugman?
Yeah, Bugman's old. I'm looking at it now.
I know, I'm kidding. Sorry. He wrote down, it was just a typo, but I kind of ruined it.
Yeah. Actually,
the
he's a goblin here. Yeah.
The one axe guy is actually sick. Like, I'm not a dwarf guy, but that model is rad.
Like the new Slayer
They
came
did a good
too?
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dope.
That giant double-bitted axe. Whew. And
That
the,
muscle
But I don't
definition.
see Micaiahson,
yeah.
so I think that might be his replacement.
oh man, and like the way that they like his beard bulges, you know, as he's pulling the axe, like the. No, I know, Big Ron. Sorry, I was just being a jerk, basically. Do what you love. Never work a day in your life. Cheers. Did I mention I have my Skaven glass ready?
Got this nice vegetable here.
Cheers. Got this nice vegetable. I'm just gonna suck on a vegetable. You know? Someone once told me to suck on a lemon, and I was like, that's not a vegetable, that's a fruit. So I got a nice winter gourd out instead. Yeah. Right? Kale said it, man. That guy's gonna find his way into a lot of Fire Slayers lists.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
Be
It's
prepared.
gonna look the same as the rest of them.
No, he's gonna look way cooler, to be honest. That that might be resin though. Like, I know it looks really good, but they had a couple of old world guys that came out that were new, and they were all resin. Weirdly,
Right. Yeah, not much has been plastic.
No. Yeah, the big weird dragon thing was, and I think the Bretonia leader guy was plastic. But we'll be able to find longbeards and drakes at last. Yeah.
And now we see live spring cleaning from Beefy Crunch.
Get that Swiffer out, baby.
Does that one spark joy, Beefy?
By the way, is that a new kit? The guy on the Thorgrim or whatever on the shields? It looks pretty good.
I think so. Okay. I think that's the other new one.
Okay.
I'm not certain though.
No, me neither. The dwarves are my mortal enemy. Enemies. Excuse me.
Singular.
Yeah.
Enemy.
Singular. I only have one, and it is all the dwarves collectively. Every single one.
Yep. That's why I collect dwarves, just out of spite.
Exactly. We'll be
old. Big. The judge knows. Big Ron says old.
Old. Oh, yep.
Dang, it looks good for an old one. I mean, that's the thing about the old models. Some of them just slap.
Dude, I've got a Skaven Clawlord that was the last metal model that they ever made, and it's really good. It looks like plastic. I'll show it to you at some point.
Oh, what do you got there?
That guy wasn't shown on there.
I'll switch back here. One second. Give me 2 seconds. Boop. So the people at home can kind of see.
Oh.
They're still just talking. Oh, nice.
He's got a shotgun over his shoulder. He's the head slayer for that goblin healer.
I mean, if you're going to slay stuff, a shotgun is not the worst tool to pick. Right?
That right here?
They're still just talking, by the way. I once again respect the one guy who didn't wear a flannel shirt. You know?
Shots fired.
Yourself. Good. Don't forget, you can let us know which releases you're most excited about by hitting us up on any of our socials.
I haven't even seen it yet,
of all the releases you've seen after the show over on the Warhammer community website too.
Though.
I know. You've seen enough of me, and I promised you more 40k action, didn't I? Well, let's dive back in with some more announcements and maybe even another little teaser too.
What's going on? I didn't hear any of that. Oh,
he said he promised more 40k.
Oh, the Gene Stealer cult.
Oh, that's
Ooh. Okay. I see you. Oh wait, these are old models. The cult wants you.
New.
Oh.
It's the third set above water.
Whoa. What? Votan?
Okay.
What? Beware of the shadows. Find out more.
So there we go. The new Kill Team Battle Box is on its way. It's called Termination, and we've got Tom and Elliot from the Warhammer.
Do we still think they're going to do a fourth tease? Do we think they're saving it best for last?
Yeah, absolutely.
What we're dealing with. These guys are pretty awesome. It's set on Beta Decima by the look of it.
Have we heard from anybody at the venue that they did tease it?
Yes, there was a couple of leaked pics.
The Galley-Dark event.
Okay.
The Gene Stealer Cult have taken over the whole planet. They've got orbital defense platforms and military bases and the capital city and things like that.
But the Patriarch, the Magus, and like those are all minis.
Yeah, but were the Brood Brother dudes? Were they new sculpts?
No, I don't think so. Oh, are they? Maybe.
I'm not a 40k guy, but this is looks like the third same terrain set is similar, above water,
right?
Refinery or whatever it was, and it's just different aspects. It's kind of like Warcry, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Unfortunately, they fly.
But all the Votan dudes are all new.
Those are new for sure. Yeah. But it's kind of
crazy.
It's kind of anti-hype though to be like, "Ooh, here comes the new stuff," and then it's like, "Oh no, these are the exact same models."
Yeah.
Have you seen Horus Heresy or Necromunda? Those are the two teasers.
Oh, you know what? I think those, I think those Brood Brothers guys are a little new, though.
I thought they were new, but
yeah, those are new. The Magus is the
the
exact same guy though, and so is the Patriarch.
Yeah, definitely.
We did see Horus Heresy. That was the like the Mars picture.
Yeah.
So Necromunda is the next teaser, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, probably. I kind of like the Votan guys though. They're kind of cool.
They look amazing.
Yeah.
They look like something out of Overwatch.
Right.
Those trench coats.
I kind of agree with Dale though earlier when he said like, give us pictures, because
yeah,
that their camera was like skipping there.
This dude's got a serious man spread. So low in that chair. Crotch is so open.
The tensile strength on those jeans must be pretty high.
They're gonna blow.
I feel bad now. I feel bad.
Carson, easy.
This feels like.
We get it. You're the meat king.
So they got pictures online now. A lot of stuff.
Oh, do they? Cool.
They take it easy back on the ship, I suppose.
Maybe we'll pull them up at the end here.
Dominic says, I want models, not flannel. Gotta disagree with Dominic on that one.
Yeah. You are wrong, Dominic. Flannel is the way.
Flannel actually makes the models, so it's like a causal link.
It's true. Yeah.
It's like tight leather with ripping guitars in the 80s. They go together.
And the guy, speaking of the 80s, the guy on the right clearly has some kind of Space Invaders inspired t-shirt.
Actually, that's houndstooth pattern, Rob.
Galaga?
You uncultured swine?
Is it I'm sorry. Yeah.
Uncultured rat.
I mean, I've been called much worse than that. You know?
It's true. By us, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Like right before the stream started.
You can also add one to their APL to do more actions, that kind of thing.
Necromunda.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's really useful. And keep it point and then spend it the moment I need to.
God damn. Some of these comments are savage.
This chat is on fire.
They are on fire, that's for sure.
We've also got some really funky operatives.
I think it was Kenrick that really noticed it at first. So
he was gawking at it.
Yeah, my doff my Skaven hat to you.
It gives this operative a real like woodsman hunter type.
I can flip it around. On the other side is the council
Got my favorite one, the bomb
symbol.
The chaos thing is a terrain piece. Confirmed.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You have a can of Spam with you?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have them upstairs, but I don't flaunt them like Rich Boy Carson here.
Is that real meat?
Yeah.
I got my Spam, and I got my Play-Doh.
Nice.
Both are fun to play with. Both are fun to eat.
Both are fun to eat. Play-Doh, I feel like it's more of a texture thing, though.
It's the saltiness. Have you ever had Play-Doh?
No.
It's delicious. It's a good garnish.
What the hell are you talking about?
It is
Is
salty.
that your cheese bread or what?
You can do whatever you want with it. You can press it through the hair mold and then make little spaghettis, you know?
You need that.
That's true. Yeah, I do need Play-Doh hair.
Like when you gush it out the end with that like spaghetti maker thing.
Yep.
They can sometimes be. We've talked about the background of this book where they can sometimes be the most effective squad.
Yo, James,
of an Imperial
thanks for
Guard
joining
team,
us.
For example, and the commander loves them.
Eat the Play-Doh and play with the Spam. Yep, or use it for spackle in your house. Hello, Weird Al Yankovic.
This particular brood
Can confirm.
that we want to capture here is the most elite version of a brood brothers.
It's much stronger than real. It's much stronger than real spackle.
Who have either been gene stealers all along and been hiding, or they've been
Laugh longer too.
the gene stealers. So they have tons of combat experience.
Those are some weird looking Skaven.
Yeah. Well, the GSC. Yeah, the guy manspreading, he's actually a Skaven. I like how confident he is, though.
Too long.
Yeah, for real, James.
Really intimidated to find
But really, though, like the GSC really are the Skaven of the 40k universe until we get Harud or
yeah,
something that's
Imperium of Man is the Skaven of the 40k universe.
the Rat Men.
They don't live underground.
I can't.
Well, I guess they do sometimes. Hive
I
City.
can't believe that they haven't brought Skaven over to 40k. I feel like it would be so cool.
It's such a slam dunk. I was talking about that with someone
easy.
else too.
They
Yeah.
brought Beastman. It was crazy.
I know.
Wow. So we've got the,
It's just money left on the table.
It's the most low-hanging fruit ever. But, and then I have to just go. I just get into 40k again. Like there's no choice for me at that point.
Nobody wants rats.
Everyone wants rats.
AoS doesn't want rats. What do you get? 3, 4 models?
Oh baby, you just wait, beefy. How dare you? Cannot doubt the Great Horned Rat.
And they're also good fighters to boot as well. But between those three operatives, you've actually
Unless you die in a horrible accident, and then you probably should.
I won't.
Yeah.
But he will.
And then
What's that?
Oh,
Gotrek, yeah.
Gaudy. I love Gotrek.
Gotrek is still lots of rats.
He's a cool model, and the novels are excellent. But
you can't stand for the fact that there's dead Skaven on his base. I understand, Rob.
That's true. That's
I get
100% true.
I get it.
Also, I just want to say that Thanquil got the better of Gotrek in the end.
Wow.
Thanquil died on a submarine at the end.
Gotrek?
No, Thanquil did. The last time you seen him in the overworld, he died because he had a submarine that showed up out of nowhere and blew up.
No, he's alive, man. He's in AOS. He's in the Gotrek audio play.
You also then get card packs.
Yeah, I understand. Thanquil was in the AOS, but have they met yet in AOS?
Kind of in the second Gotrek AOS audio play thing. I forget what it's called. Realm Slayer's the first one, and then the second one is. I can't remember. There's like Deepkin in it, and like Seraphon. It's pretty good.
Not just the book, but everything.
The longer they talk, the less models they sell.
Thanks again for joining us, Tom and Elliot, and letting us know all about
Yeah.
it. Sounds super cool. Can't wait for it.
A lot of the old world.
That's coming soon. But before you
Okay.
go, we've got even more stuff on its way. So
Oh, this is Necromunda.
Yeah, probably right.
Here we
That'll be the
go.
last thing before.
I'll turn it up though.
Yeah. Give the people what they want, not AoS4.
Yeah.
Necromunda's a teaser.
I kind of like this trailer so far, though, to be honest.
These teasers are like 3 seconds long. They're like teasers for teasers.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, we won't see nothing. It'll be that's it.
This is that announcement of announcement BS.
And Simon's changed t-shirts like 40 times in this stream. They should have thought about this. They should have realized.
Snip snap, snip snap.
They filmed this over like 5 days this past week, and they're like,
poor bastard.
coming in new outfits.
It's
so we got 7 minutes left.
Yeah.
Or more.
At least it's the same 2 stinky actually, I shouldn't have said that. At least it's the same 2 t-shirts. Wait, what's going on?
Even more fantastic announcements.
Okay.
And even
We're
that
going
teaser
an hour.
promised as well. Who knew?
Here we go.
Well, I reckon that's about it.
One more thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
right.
almost forgot. There is just one more thing to
Oh,
show.
baby.
Enjoy.
Here we go. Whoa!
Sigmar lied.
Oh, wow. Zangor? Damn! Damn, this trailer is sick.
Oh!
Is she Dark Oath?
Sigmar told us we were chosen.
City.
Warriors.
Whoa.
Stolen from death. To be
Oh.
reforged as his weapons.
What?
The immortal sons and daughters of the Storm God.
Maybe she quit dying so much. I don't know. Get good. Oh. I see warp lightning. Yo.
We're gonna drain another ocean.
This looks like Aquashi. Dawnbringer cities. What? Whoa. The bell. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, don't ring the bells, guys. Are you not paying attention? What? Oh, Claw Lord on, like, Wolf Rat? Is that Vandus?
That's new Vandus.
Right? Damn, they actually look kind of sick. Oh, Rat Ogres. Oh, what? Oh, shit. Oh, baby. Giselle? Oh, man. Boom.
There's a new model.
There it is.
Model.
Oh. Yep. Ga, 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 ga. Oh, does he call it back to him? Oh, shoot. No! Not Fido.
Sigmar lied.
Oh.
He never told us the true cost of this honor. Soon, all that will remain of me is an echo, lost to the storm. But until that day, I fight.
God dang. That trailer. That is the best trailer they've ever done.
Totally.
Will the planet raise cities from the underground?
I think so. That made the 40K ones look like trash.
That actually was sick. All the way through.
All the way through.
Yes, it's official.
Summer.
Warhammer
Ooh.
Age of
No.
Sigmar's new edition
Ooh.
is here and is coming very, very soon. I'm
Ooh.
joined by Ben and Phil and Matt from the AoS studios to chat about all things Age of Sigmar. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
First of all, let's jump straight in with that cinematic. I mean, come on, that thing is absolutely amazing. We were blown away by that. Let's talk about some of your top highlights from the cinematic trailer.
I mean, it was gobsmacking. The first time we saw it, we were like, what? It's just absolute tour de force. We've been working with these characters in these different factions for a while, but seeing them brought to life in that way, it just pitch perfect, really something.
Yeah, I love that they've worked so hard on that as well. You can tell that really bringing those sort of like miniatures to life, that bit where the Skaven comes sort of like rolling down that hill with the rattling gun is just absolutely
That's
amazing
my
as
favorite
well.
part is
So
when it
obviously
rolls over the
this
guy.
event is sort of huge in the cinematic trailer that we've just seen.
Classic
But
Skaven
obviously
maneuver.
it's just a small glimpse into the threat that the mortal realms are facing right now. So let's talk a little bit about the lore and sort of where we find ourselves in the narrative of Age of Sigmar. So whereabouts are we now?
The hour of ruin has dawned, right? It's a new
Yeah.
era for Age of Sigmar. So we've just come out of the era of the beast, very destruction focused. Chaos strikes back. We've seen the Skaven enter play in a great cataclysm called the Vermin Doom. That was the big explosion with all the stuff rising out of the ground. That's an entire nation of Skaven. It's not just a small area. Has gate crashed the party. A full third of the Great Parch is now completely destroyed and replaced by Blight City, the Skaven.
Whoa, they brought
And they are
Blight
pouring
City?
out of there in their billions. So the Stormcast Eternals and their mates better shore up those gaps pretty quickly, because that tide is coming and it's not stopping anytime soon.
Nice. So you chatted a little bit about the Skaven there and sort of how the mortal realms have sort of been reforged and stuff. So let's chat a little bit about the Skaven. What makes them so much more dangerous and so much more sort of horrifying in this new edition?
Well, we've seen the Skaven before. They're old friends, aren't they? We've all grown up with Skaven in a way. They're so Warhammer. What we're seeing now is not just a few of them creeping around in the sewers, but a real tidal wave of these things.
Oh man, that rat
the
ogre.
horror of the Skaven really is coming through, as well as the humour, because of course there are a few beats of them running away and getting speared. And, they're a giant rattling blaster form.
The Claw Lord.
The Claw Lord just bailing.
Yeah.
There's still that sense of humour to the Skaven and their kind of slightly charming cowardice, but we are also seeing the Skaven on their best day, which is pretty terrifying, with all the weird Frankensteinian monsters and technology and numbers, just plain numbers.
Yeah.
So there are yeah, they're really coming as never before, and that's kind of fun to see them come out of the shadows like that.
Yeah, totally. And we can't talk about the Skaven without mentioning the Stormcast Eternals, obviously. So let's chat a little bit about the Hallowed Knights and the Ruination Chamber as well. Tell us about that.
Sigmar hit the big button, didn't he, and opened another chamber.
Big button.
Ruination Chamber. These guys, as we saw in the main character in the trailer, been reforged so many times. They're starting to lose that little bit of themselves, losing that thing that made them human, and they're turning into incredible warriors that can go into some of those really awful places in the mortal realm. So we saw that, didn't we? The regular Stormcaster there, and there's bits of their armour coming away because they can't quite get in there. The guys from the Ruination Chamber, in they go. We are the guys to do that.
Yeah, that's almost the benefit they get from the. I mean, their immortality is a curse. We've talked about this. So like, you know, it might seem like a blessing.
That guy's a singer to the Proclaimers.
Heroes, and they've got all the kit. But really, they're dying over and over again. That's not a good thing, and they're paying the price.
Ben Johnson.
One of my favorite things from the trailer. I think it's the
yeah.
first time we've, really been able to
Where's
show
his
that
twin?
so clearly. Both the blessing of immortality, but as Phil said, the curse of the immortality, and the kind of character that we see throughout the trailer. Seeing that journey, both of becoming more veteran and becoming more elite and a stronger warrior. But then, losing that aspect of the humanity, and ultimately, near the end of that journey, becoming kind of so jaded, so having seen so many horrors and lived through so many horrors and so many deaths, that these are kind of some of the only people that can venture into this absolute horror that's emerged across the mortal realms.
Let's chat a little bit about rules then as well. So what can players expect to experience with this new edition of Age of Sigmar?
This will be the biggest shift in rules since the introduction of Age of Sigmar. This is the first ground-up rewrite of the rule set for Age of Sigmar since the very first edition came out. We really had three major goals in mind when we were doing that. The first was opening up the game to more players than ever. Really trying to make sure that the game was easy to learn, easy for new players to get into, yet retaining the tactical depth that makes it really difficult to master, where you could spend years and years playing and gaining that skill and that skill expression. The second thing was building on the interactivity in third edition, with more reactive commands and more opportunities for counterplay in your opponent's turn. And all of that kind of comes together in these really nail-biting finishes, these really closely fought battles, where every game can be exciting and tense. And this is such a big shift for the rules, such a big update, that not only have we done a major update to all the rules, but also every faction will be getting brand new rules for this edition.
Yeah, baby.
So there's lots and lots of exciting things to look forward to coming up soon.
Yeah. So you guys were obviously heavily involved in the development of the new edition. One thing that I really, really want to know is what got yourselves and some of the playtesters most excited about this new edition?
There's a lot to chew over.
Yeah.
So the bit for me that I really love, I think it's a small change, but it has huge impacts, is combat range. So weapon ranges have gone away. So for melee, and everything now runs off combat range, so a 3-inch range. And that works for things like claiming objectives, how characters can interact with other units, how benefits can be applied, and then also in combat. And it just makes that combat phase so much slicker, so much quicker to play than it ever has before.
Yeah.
For me, I think you touched on it there, is that it is slicker, it's easier to play. And I'm big into telling a story on the battlefield and seeing, having those games which you talk about 10 years later. And having the rules almost get out of the way to be able to do that. And the way we've made these rules is they're so accessible and easy to use, we'll come to that in a minute, that it's far easier to see the ebb and flow of the battle and to do cool stuff on the battlefield. It's really good fun.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really been kind of learning from all of the editions in the past. Through that work of making it more accessible, what we're really doing is trying to make it more elegant as a rule set, and looking for opportunities to really merge down without losing any of that tactical depth and any of that skill expression that comes with it.
And the flavour and the lore that comes through in these war scrolls and on the battlefield.
I think you've said before, Matt, as well, we've got almost a decade's worth of knowledge now and feedback from players all over the world to be able to put into that.
Well, and just you know, our own lived experiences, the amount of, you know, the games that we've played, and we all love the game and love the system. So, you know, this is really a culmination of that, and I couldn't be more excited to get it into players' hands.
That's great. So let's talk Spearhead as well, because this is a brand new way for players to play Age of Sigmar. Talk to us about that. What you know? Tell us everything about Spearhead.
We knew that was coming too.
Gosh, everything. So Spearhead, it comes in the launch box. So everything you need to play Spearhead, the models, the board, the terrain, the cards, the rules for every faction. As well, are all included in the box, so you can play it straight out of the box.
What's the 40K one?
As you said, brand new way to play the game.
Exactly.
It's a small format game. It uses
We've been saying
a lot
this is
of brand
happen.
new mechanics people haven't seen before. There's really compelling card mechanics for tactics and commands, and it's just, you know, a really, really exciting, really fast and furious, and very balanced way to play the game.
That speed is what's taken the studio by storm, isn't it? The amount of games that are played, because you can play it in an hour, play it at lunchtime really easily.
But there's still all that tactical depth. It really feels like you're still playing a big war game. You're playing Warhammer, but it's a lot easier to do. And each of the spearheads has been really well balanced against the other. Even if it looks like you might have the advantage, so Indrasta's spearhead, Indrasta being a very powerful champion of Sigmar and her elite Stormcast Eternals, the real punch of that spearhead doesn't show up till halfway through the game. That gives a kind of inbuilt narrative to the game. So you've got this scenario where your normal Stormcaster trying to hold the line and hold back the enemy, and then pow, straight halfway through the battle, in comes Indrasta and her Annihilators to swing it back. So there's like an inbuilt story to that. There are choices you can make, so you can still give your guys different command traits or artifacts. You can give your army different ways to fight. And of course, the board is double-sided, so you've got Akshi side on one side, if you want to fight in Akshi, fire and passion. On the other side is Gairan, which is much more lush vegetation, healing.
We're going back.
And the cycle of life. And the cards that you pick up every turn will give you different objectives. Go there, kill that, get your dudes over that side.
Oh, so it is kind of like the new 40K system.
Extremely large amount of ramifications of the games you can play with Spearhead.
It must be so great for sort of experienced players to be able to get games in really quick, but also players that might be new to kind of AoS being able to pick that up, and also great for like the tournament scene as well. If you can play X amount of games in a certain amount of time, that must be great.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. Early on in the development of Spearhead, we brought in a group of kind of veteran playtesters. It ended up turning into effectively a tournament over the weekend where they all got really, really into it and really competitive. And so this is something that we've seen really resonate with players, and people gain a lot of excitement for.
I think what's been fun from like an experienced player is picking up any spearhead, and just because there's so few rules around their battle traits and there's so few war scrolls involved, that you can just pick it up and play a game and not feel like you're missing out on anything. So there's quite a lot of times when we go into the
this is kind of like their propaganda. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what, I've played,
like I hope it's true.
Games for a while, so you
it'll be like whatever. What is it called in 40K? Like battle force or
something?
Just working your
boarding action or something, or
let's chat a little
boarding.
bit.
That's the kill team thing.
This new edition.
That's like the other middle.
Update and rebalance and rewrite all of the
Combat Patrol.
Combat Patrol. That's what it's called. Where they sell the box and you can only play a list
kind of
built out of that box.
Changes.
Set.
It was really the perfect opportunity.
They're all balanced. 70% win rate for Eldar. They're all balanced.
We had some playtest games early on, conversations early
4K,
on.
That's balanced.
You know, it was a big kind of learning point for us that, you know, the game could.
That's what I mean. It is kind of their propaganda, but
complex,
you know, they always learn from each other's games too. So it'll probably be better. Especially because AoS is the better game, right?
That,
we all agree.
Same approach to streamlining and really trying to focus in on the most impactful rules, the most characterful rules, but removing a lot of the other detail that maybe you had to manage before. So a really good example is the introduction of a limited set of universal special rules. So things like champions or standard bearers, musicians, you know, some weapon abilities. You know, now instead of needing a full rule on each war scroll to explain how this works, you can just say champion, and everyone knows how that works, and it
sounds like they are adding the keyword thing.
Really, really clean, really easy to do. So it makes
each
war
sense.
scroll.
The way they write the new 40K rules are so much better.
Easier to use.
Yeah.
Every single war.
They kind of brought that into Old World too.
A single-sided card.
Yeah.
Look at the same champion and
kind of no
musician
matter how
ability.
big the character, how powerful the character.
We've also done quite a lot of work on stats and characteristics as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So an awful lot of time spent in our playtest room lining models up putting them in categories. How many wounds should this unit of cavalry have? How many wounds
Interesting.
should this one have? So that it makes a lot more sense visually when you just look at the battlefield and you can see, well, what sort of armor save, what sort of movement should this unit have, what health should this unit have. So it's all a lot more consistent now.
I think one of my favourite parts of that is that the colour coding system, quite visual. We like to look at the battlefield and look at our war scrolls and our books, and each ability has a colour to go with it to tell you what phase you use that ability in. So you're not having to go through all of your rules all the time. You just
we've all played a game where we've forgotten one, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly.
I could have done that. Yeah.
And that's just really easy way to pass the rules and to know what you can do at certain times.
We've really tried to look from a lore perspective, from a miniatures perspective, from a rules perspective. One of our main tenets of the game is that the rules reflect the mortal realms, right? And so we think the game works best when all three of those things are working in concert, where it feels intuitive to players. And so this is really the first time we've been able to go back and really differentiate the different races, the different units, the different factions, and give them much more of an identity through the characteristics.
Oh, I like that.
So these war scrolls, they'll be free to access on launch, right?
Yeah, that's right. So there's digital versions of them available at launch.
Hell yeah.
And there's also card versions of them as well. So you can
That's
have
what we said.
in gaming table.
Also, we've got updated rules for all of the armies of renown, regiments of renown, content from the Dawnbringer series that you've been playing.
So not getting rid of all the regiments and armies of renown
for the new
That's
edition.
kind of dope.
Everybody gets something new and cool to look through.
Yes.
Hopefully it will inspire you to telling great stories on the battlefield and having a lot of games of Age of Sigmar.
Keep bringing them in.
So yeah, we will enjoy it.
Great, thank you so much. Well, Ben, Phil, Matt, thank you so much for joining us and coming into the studio to chat a little bit about Age of Sigmar.
Come on,
We
guys.
cannot wait for it.
No worries.
Thank you very much.
Come on.
Well, that's all we've got time for.
Oh.
What a show and what a series.
These guys
of
have classy
announcements.
shoes.
Thank
I
you to
trust
Adepticon
them.
for having us, and thank you to you
Was
for
it
being
Manfred
with
have
us.
brown
We hope you've
shoes
enjoyed
for
it just as
fancy?
much as we have. Remember, you can head to the Warhammer community website
Man.
if you'd like to find out more about any of the upcoming
I don't know what
releases.
that's supposed to
Don't
mean in
forget
regards to
follow
shoes,
us on all
but
our socials to keep
that's
up
the
to
year.
date with all the latest news. Thanks again.
Era
We'll
room,
see you next
era
time
brown
on the
shoes.
Warhammer Preview Show.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, Gavner.
Okay.
Okay.
Fun. We have fun.
That was fun.
That was really fun. That was pretty cool. Like people are clearly not happy in the in the chat. Not that that surprises me. Like, where are the models?
I called it. They didn't show us them all.
I was sure they were going to show a couple of things, like Leviathan.
Nah.
They got leaked too. It's like, show us two, the leaked ones.
Oh man.
Best cinematic they've ever made, though.
But the best. I was just about to say that. Like, that is. It makes the Dominion one look like hilarious by comparison. Like the quality of the animation, the sound, the dialogue, the setup, the tone.
3 years is a long time.
It is a long time, but like and to be fair, the 40K 9th edition one was a little bit similar. And they learned, but honestly, that was way better than Leviathan. And I actually thought the Leviathan one was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it was just the actual physical animations of the Leviathan one still felt a little like the models looked amazing, but
clunky.
the movements felt a little chunky. This
They
actually felt like an early 2000s Blizzard animation where stuff was moving on speed and cue, and I was like, oh, they're learning.
Yeah, I
The
agree.
same team that made that's making Space Marine 2 made Leviathan trailer.
Oh, maybe. Like it still felt kind of quick, and it still felt a little bit chunky for Leviathan, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is like they've hit their stride.
The only problem in this one was when that person that had the close up and they had to talk, they were like, ring the bell. I was like, it's a little.
Yeah, that was
It looked a little chunky and uncanny, but the actual fight sequences looked great.
They looked so good, and I loved how much character they added to the Skaven thing. You know, like the guy getting rolled over. They already mentioned it, but the Claw Lord running away. And also it's like we're seeing like Jezzail are gonna be there. Like there's no way they show Jezzail and then they get rid of him, right?
Completely redone.
Yeah, Jezzail, the new things. They're probably gonna have clan rats in there for sure. But that Claw Lord on the Wolf Rat, oh baby.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby. That is so delicious.
But Henrik nailed it because everything was good except when a character was talking live. That killed me. Anything through the head, like when they're just talking and not actually moving their mouth, it was perfect.
Yeah.
That worked. That totally worked. And the close-ups of her face with like her eyes being these like hollow galaxies, that was a haunting image. I thought that was a really cool.
Very cool. And to be honest, I actually didn't even notice when they were talking, because I was still thinking about like the Skaven stuff that I saw and like running it through my, I'm not even kidding. Like I'm not saying that
associating, just being like, wait a minute.
I'm not even saying like as soon as like I didn't notice like the eyes and like the flashbacks and like on all the cool bits for the Stormcast, but I just remember like them ringing the bells and I was like, you don't ring bells against Skaven, they ring them against you. And so that
was a terrible call.
Yeah, that was like
dinner is served.
Yeah, exactly. Come and get it. Hope you brought a can opener.
I'm in the Stormcast.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm hungry.
Tastes like it tastes like lightning. Yeah.
Did you guys take any notes during the show?
Nope. These are my notes right here.
I took some. Book 6, definitely going to be the final one.
Yep. Absolutely.
The Chaos Lord chick lady, she was mentioned the last one. She's a ball of fire just wreaking havoc. So we've seen her. She's in Gairan. So like we said, I think she ends the Gairan Crusade because she's heading right for that city.
Right. And Draxia, is that her name?
Yeah, something like that.
Abraxia, I think.
Adraxia. That sounds better. Wow.
Was there a new Skaven thing shown off in that? I think in one of the early ones, they were in the foreground as like the enemy. I think maybe against the Chaos for book 6, and like you've seen something that didn't look old Skaven-y.
I'm not sure what you mean. Like, do you mean you don't mean in the trailer?
It wasn't the trailer. It was like way early. It was, I think, when they're talking about the new Chaos Girl, and then they're like, here's the battle, Skaven in the foreground versus slaves, and then they're like panning it, and there's a pause, and there's a new thing there. They just kind of pan right by that.
Huh. I didn't notice that. I wonder if we can
go. On top of a structure, it didn't look like the bell at all. I don't know what it was.
Huh.
So they posted the actual article regarding the new edition as well, or actually all of its stuff.
Okay.
I can send it a link if you want, or you can find it. But
the one that's under the preview.
Mm-hmm. It's all broken down.
Adepticon. Which one is it?
I think the first one. Double check here.
The one that says preview the Spear of the Ever-Chosen Heralds?
No, it's the latest one. It says Warhammer Age of Sigmar is reforged for an incredible new edition.
I'll be earlier.
Maybe I got to refresh.
I sent you a link.
Oh, okay. On Facebook?
Yep.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Coming through. Whoa. The Hope Cast. Okay, sorry guys. I should put this up. 1 second. I have a bunch of more stuff running than normal. There we go. Sheesh. Look at that poster, hey? Like, I'm not a Stormcast guy, but god dang, right? Like, the colors on there are perfect. That is so sick. So are you talking about the cinematic trailer?
And that guy, the Hopecast Under Ruin guy?
Yeah.
The back of his axe is the same as that like leak that we saw.
The leak,
of that axe that had like the wavy stuff at the end of it.
When do we get the new models? Okay, sorry. Oh. So moving right along. Do they show what Beefy was talking about?
No, not on that one.
Oh shoot, they're already showing the spearheads. Do you see that? At the bottom?
I don't know if those are going to be like what the actual spearhead. I think those are the Vanguard pictures. For each army.
You might be right.
just because like looking at a few of the armies that I already know, like
You're
the
right.
Slaves to Darkness one is definitely that. And
I recognize like 2 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
What's next? Choose a side. Skaven. I don't care if people are watching me do this. Okay, I won't put down my email out live on stream, but oh baby.
Are those all the new spirits? Oh, they're just Dark Vikings rebrand.
Yeah, I think those are
just recycled images.
Yeah. And that's fair. Wouldn't it be funny if they leaked all the Skaven and like Stormcast models for the new spearheads on there and they're just like, yeah, well that's gonna be in there, right? I don't see the Skaven thing that you were talking about in this article.
No, it was the video that was pre-recorded, and it was Phil talking. It's just about the 6th book from Dawnbringers, and it's not even up anywhere yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking forward to. But anyway, we can watch other news. Rumor engines. Did you guys see any?
The last week's one, or this week's, like yesterday?
Any of them?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, did we notice anything that came out in them?
The Hive for the War
Right. The Underworld's warband. Yeah.
The Spear, I think, for the Sylvaneth, one of the Spear dudes. I think that was Spearhead we've seen.
That could
the
be.
Cloak on the Chaos dude, like the big Chaos new chick. I think her cloak, the tattered cloak we've seen in a rumor engine.
That could be as well. I'm not sure.
Underworld, I don't think I've seen anything.
Adraxia though, wow,
wicked.
That slaps. Like this model is so sick. It's gonna get people into Slaves. It's Slaves to Darkness. I really wish they would have named it something else. I'm glad that Kenrick has finally turned into the amalgamation of personalities.
There is. Oh, hold on. Here.
What?
Here, in the chat here, that thing that I pointed out, that like terrain piece in the Warcry thing for Slaves to Darkness is actually a terrain piece for Slaves to Darkness.
Here we go.
They posted that.
Here, 1 second. I gotta find the right. You put it in this chat. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
It's the second one, right?
Yeah. God. You got to have to.
Okay. Let's put it. I've got too many windows open for this. Huh.
Yeah, it's a confirmed terrain piece. Yeah, I think Dawnbreaker 6 then.
So it's below Adraxia?
Yeah.
Oh, this thing. I see. As the Dawnbringer spread through the mortal realms, the forces of chaos are mounting counter-offensives on their own by raising dark shrines on geomantic convergences. They can effectively spike ley lines with demonic power and corrupt the realms themselves. Whew! Carson, what is going through your mind right now? Like, did you forget that ogres even exist at this point, or I'm just curious. Goodbye. I won't be needing you anymore.
So this is what it looks like. This is the POV of stripping for Carson.
It's cuter than I thought it would be. You know. Hello there. Hey.
Here, you know what? Here. Take this too. Take this.
Oh yeah.
Here you go. I'll trade my dog.
That seems like a serious down trade, but I'll allow it. You know.
Wait, hang on.
For them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they don't know Carson's dog, you know.
Okay, we're gonna do ASMR for eating a little piece of popcorn.
Oh.
Live. Oh, she dropped it on the floor. Okay, cool. Good job, Holly.
It was a fun idea.
Yeah. No fun allowed.
Did we see one of those chaos points as a rumor engine?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. We talk about it every week, but as soon as it's gone, it's just out of my brain forever. That thing is cool. what's crazy about this is like I noticed this the Dawnbringer art for Usharan isn't nearly as cool as the model. And I feel the same way about Adraxia's art here. This model is way cooler than that picture.
Under Adraxia in the video would fill 3 minutes and 2 seconds in.
Okay.
What is that scheming thing right in your face?
Is it this
and
one
you
here?
got the Dark Riders or Dark Oath behind in the background.
Is it this one here? The one that Meet Adraxia, Spear of the Everchosen?
Yeah, scroll up right above it. There's a video.
I think this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was
the time.
How far in?
What time is it?
3 minutes in.
3 minutes. Okay.
3 minutes, 2 seconds. You can just fast forward.
By enemies, but it's really the synergy.
1 second.
Oh, not that one. Not that one. The one below.
Oh, the one below. The video below? Oh, the one with him.
So over the course of the Dawnbringer story arc, we've seen two crusades, the twin-tailed crusade.
3 minutes and 3 minutes.
Oh, I see what you're saying here.
Unfortunately,
what is that?
It's not that simple.
It's in the foreground.
Oh,
yeah.
Looks like a wheel and like a burning fire coming up the top.
Yeah, it's like spilling warp liquid or something.
That's new.
He starts getting.
Called it.
Good catch.
Nice catch, yeah.
Wow.
Getting involved.
When you're good, you're good.
Maybe like a catapult thing?
Huh.
Trebuchet?
It's got like warp smoke leaking out the top of like some kind of.
It's tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It almost looks like you know, in like from castles they would like dump hot oil on people. It almost looks like a thing that's like dumping warp shenanigans on people.
Yeah.
Get rid of the bell and remake it to a new kit, and that would be part of the new kit.
Maybe, but I don't know what.
Or train.
In pretty good shape.
The bell really holds up and it's quite new.
What if it's train? What if it's
like
factory train? Oh, true.
I mean,
like Ogre's got
has
2
2 pieces of train now, so.
Yeah.
But interesting, but the thing is, if you're gonna do even like mediocre, decent units right now, and you're doing the launch box, this is the time to get it done.
That's true. By the way, could everyone see it okay? I had it.
It's going to be a big refresh, I think, of Skaven.
Oh, here. Sorry. I'll go back. I'll go back to
31-year-old models.
Yep. 32 for Skrulk, right?
Turned 32, yeah. Just about my age.
Older than me.
Why isn't it showing? Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Never mind. No wonder. Okay. Boop. There we go. Now everyone can see it.
That's the only things I picked up from maybe rumor engines, and then that thing.
You know what's interesting though too? So like one thing that we shouldn't forget is they do build their own custom crap sometimes.
But not to put the foreground of a brand new edition, and then a little snippet before we show you the new army.
Having said that, the clan rats that are in the foreground there are old clan rats.
Totally.
And they're definitely going to resculpt clan rats, even though they don't need it whatsoever.
Are we certain they're going to do that?
I just like they did it with warriors for Necrons. I would bet they are. You know, again, they don't need it whatsoever. I would much rather see them do Night Runners, Gutter Runners, you know, Storm Vermin. Like Storm Vermin, I think look okay, but they're just a little bit clunky. They're still quite, you know, and they're also like those made to order type deals, you know. But
every big release has kept one battle line core unit the same: goblins, Seraphon, Chaos Warriors.
That's true.
What would you want Skaven to keep?
What do I want them to keep? If they're going to keep
like one model, one mold, and then everybody else get a revamp.
Well, they're gonna keep Vermin Lords. They're gonna keep Thanquol. They're
I'm talking battle line.
Battle line. If they were gonna keep one? I actually think Clan Rats hold up super well.
Then you redo the rest of them: Plague Monks, Storm Vermin,
Plague Monks,
Gutter Runners,
Storm Vermin, Night Runners. I would love it if they focused on Eshin, because Eschen need it.
What needs it more? I think all of them need it the same amount.
Yeah. I hope they bring back wolf rats.
You seen one?
What's that?
We seen a big one.
Yeah, we saw that in the trailer anyway. Yeah. You would bet new storm vermin over clan rats? I definitely think so. I mean, I own too many of both, to be honest. But and the plague monks really don't hold up. Obviously, the worst ones are definitely night runners.
Giant rats.
Giant rats. Yeah, I heard that they might get squatted. You know, Eschen do need the most.
We just seen a lot of rats.
We did, but that's like, it's almost like a Vermintide type spell kind of deal. I hope they don't get rid of it, to be clear. That's not something I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
The claw, I don't think that's a brood horror, Luke. I think that's a wolf rat, because a brood horror is like way bigger than that.
Yeah, thicker.
I have the brood lord Forge World model. I can show it to you guys. Where are we? That's kind of a weird capture of the... Let's see. How do I get rid of that?
The one thing why Eschen is better than the Plague guys, because Eschen models are plastic.
Yeah, but they're way uglier. Actually, no, the Plague guys are plastic. The Plague monks are plastic. The Censor Bearers are resin. But the rumor, which was true, by the way, thus far, Adraxia, everything they said has been true. They said the Censor Bearers are getting squatted. They said Gutter Runners are getting squatted. They didn't say Night Runners. But Gutter Runners and Night Runners are so similar that even like someone like me who's really into Eschen and whatnot and loves that faction, it's pretty hard to tell the difference. Like, they would have to make them, and they should make them visually distinct. I have this old idea of a new Eschen unit where I called them, it doesn't matter. But you know what a Ksudi is? It's like a sickle, right? And it's got a chain on it, and then at the end of the chain it's like a weight. It's like a ninja weapon, right? And I had this idea of like a unit of like 3 or 5 of those guys, and they spin their weight around stuff and like entangle it and mess with them, and then you can't retreat. You know, and then maybe other units get +1 to hit or whatever. But like something like that, if they chose to go that direction, like it would be something new, and it would mean Gutter Runners get squatted, but it would be replaced with something way cooler. You know what I mean? And more visually distinct with an interesting silhouette, as opposed to just be like, here are Gutter Runners, and then people kind of ask like, wait, what's the difference again? It's like Deepwood Scouts versus Glade Guard from the old world. You know what I mean? For what else?
Look at cities. Cities get rid of the Cavalier. And
yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. That kind of thing. Like that I'm totally down for, you know? Hooded capes and ones with no capes. Absolutely, Kalyan. That's a great way of doing it. I think it would be better though if they had like something a little bit more. Like the Gutter Runners like have like knives, whereas the the Night Runners have like knives and sort of cheaper looking weapons, and the Gutter Runners are a little more kitted out with like swords and scythes and, you know, just something a little more interesting. But yeah,
I don't see them doing 2 baseline kits for every one of their factions, sub-factions, we'll call it.
I agree. I mean, so usually when we get a new edition release, we see around 14 new kits when it's an edition release. It's not the same as like a revamp like on Seraphon or whatever. There's usually more Necrons, Tyranids, Cruel Boys.
14 per side.
It's usually 14 on the non-Space Marine side. I don't usually, weirdly, I didn't count the Space Marine side before.
I think they get less this time. The Stormcast.
I mean,
some units.
That seems cruel because like Stormcast don't have enough units. Obviously, like they need, you know, they need to pump those numbers up, right? I mean, it's getting kind of sad. Like I can almost count the amount of Stormcast units in like, using like a calculator, right? So pump them up, right? Pump up the jam, like Technotronic this stuff, But yeah, all Eshin units are metal, I think. Well, no, the Night Runners are plastic.
Always were.
The Gutter Runners, I think, are currently resin. I know they were selling them in metal. Like, they used to be metal, but you got to remember they took a lot of those old metal units and they made them into fine cast. Like, I didn't know this because all of my Giselle are metal, but apparently if you buy them now, they're actually fine cast or fine crap or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Them and the Centaurs were the last metal, I believe, and then they went resin.
Like publicly made.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Yeah. The warband they made used that box count as Gutter Runners. Yeah. The I can't come up with it. Slinkshanks warband. The Eshin guys. Yeah, that kit is unbelievably cool. So I'd be down for that. They're really cool. They don't usually do that though. Like, they don't take Underworld stuff and they bring it over wholesale to AOS. Nope. So I don't think that'll happen. But I mean, like, do what you did with Warcry, like the new what are they called? The new Chameleon Skinks. Like they didn't call them Chameleon Skinks, but they're basically Chameleon Skinks. The current Night Runners don't come as 3. Night Runners are the ones, they're the full unit Bahamut. They're come in 10s, and they're definitely plastic. I've got them. Or no, I didn't. I gave them to Matthias, but I had them. The Gutter Runners, I don't know. I can pull it up though.
There's a snippet from Warcom about the new edition change.
Oh, yeah?
As a result, each faction of the new edition will receive a free downloadable faction pack at launch.
Cool.
Each pack will contain all the rules needed to play, battle traits, sub-factions, enhancements, spell lores, and war scrolls for every unit. This also means that the battle tomes from the current edition will not be compatible with the new rules, and that every faction will receive a new battle tome over the next few years.
Wow.
Posted on the community website.
So it's confirmed that it's not going to be Grand Alliances instead of it will be factions.
That's good. That's definitely good.
That can go either way, I could think.
Yeah. There's a decent chance that like every faction is like super simplified compared to what they are, or it would have to be. I think it's no way they just like made new battle tomes essentially. So definitely some of the more complex factions are going to suffer, I think.
Right.
I have a feeling we're going to see like Khorne probably not doing quite as well. Soulblight, yeah. Maybe like Tzeentch, Seraphon.
I can see that.
Dumpster a bit.
By the way, you were right. He was right about Gutter Runners are still metal. I don't.
Oh, they still are.
I don't know anyone who owns them because everyone just buys the Blood Bowl team and then makes them into Gutter Runners and whatnot because they look 10 times better. You just cut off the footballs. But yeah, the Gutter Runners are metal. They are still metal. But yeah.
Coalesce, new stuff. You're saying there's a chance. Okay, we're on something.
One would hope. It seems like they kind of flip-flop back and forth. You know what I mean? Where they, like, if something's bad in the previous edition, like Gits were pretty darn awful, and then they gave them a new book, they seem to overcompensate both ways, right? But Index Hammer, baby. I love Index Hammer. It is the Wild West. It's super fun. Beefy Crunch, not a fan, but...
Hard pass.
Really?
AOS 1 sucked. AOS 1 was terrible.
AOS 1 Index, but you got to remember when AOS 1 indexes came out, there weren't even points.
Yeah, but when the indexes came out with points, it was almost worse.
Well, the indexes never came out with points. We got a General's Handbook in 2016.
Yeah, wait, like 2 years later, yeah.
Yeah, and those points were based off of like an online thing that people just made. right? I mean, people were playing with wound amounts, but like I've done index hammer in 40K twice now, and that's the funnest time because it's the Wild West. We don't know what's going on, and there's no net listing because people just don't know. It's just a Johnny's dream, you know?
But that's because 40K is such a bad spot. You index it, and then it's fun for a little bit. It was not in a bad spot.
I don't agree with that 40K 8th edition was in a bad spot. 40K 8th edition was rad.
But they did index 9.
They did indexes in 8th. They didn't do it in 9th, and now they're doing it again in 10th. 9th they kept well, they did like a mini index thing, but it wasn't proper.
Gail just brought up an interesting point from that article, which says, on top of all that, this is like a direct quote from the article. It says, on top of all that, there are modular rules, plenty more opportunities for reactivity in your opponent's turn via a updated system of command points and abilities, and a ton of tweaks and refinements, not least to the double turn, which has been fine-tuned into a knife-edge decision with a clever twist to scoring. Put simply, it is the best edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar yet.
Where's that?
On the work on.
That's on the new edition article. If you just like search for double turn, you'll find it.
Is the one with the cool poster, I guess?
I'd assume so.
Yeah.
Okay, cinematic trailer. Okay, I will.
Generally, they index when they are going to change a lot of the core rules, and it would leave some armies like in the dust. So I think there's a lot of changes coming, and I actually think, as much as 3rd edition has been great, I think there's been some issues that could be solved. One especially being the amount of rend and the amount of save stacking. I think it's kind of silly.
For sure. I think they'll get rid of that. Carson and I talked about that a bit, but darn it. It won't let me select the article and move it. Anyway, you guys can see it. It's on the screen right now. The double turn is highlighted. Yeah, not least to the double turn. That we talked.
They're gonna make it a triple turn.
A triple turn. What?
Galaxy 0 points, 3 turns.
Galaxy brain. Well, I mean, and during the prediction show, Carson, were you on? Were you? I mean, we have the document. We have the receipts, but that was my call. They're going to change the double turn in some way. It's going to be. It's going
to change scoring in some way, and the double turn is going to play into it.
The scoring?
Yeah, like if you hold objectives longer to the end of the turn, worth more. Thus, the double turn, give it away. But you hold objective longer.
Right. Yeah, it'll be like the end of the battle round kind of thing. Like
that could be cool.
That would be cool. Like anything that incentivizes it. Like you don't want them to go too far, but Romulan Dog says, "Where are the Doom Wheels?" We're still waiting, my friend.
Battle line Doom Wheels.
That should have been happening a long time ago. Like they got Acolytes and Storm Fiends, and it's like no. Like every faction needs some kind of. Honestly, I thought they were going to do that with Hell Pits. I was expecting Hell Pit battle line for Moldar. It makes more sense that they went with Giant Rats and Rat Ogres.
You'd have to make them weaker to make them more common. That's the thing.
Well, they did it. They did it with Stegodons, and they did it with some pretty crazy stuff. They did it with the friggin' spiders.
Yeah, but
they're pretty bad.
Stegodons and spiders are shit.
But they weren't in AoS 2, or the spiders were obviously bad in AoS 2, but the Stegodons were rockin' in AoS 2.
They made them worse than 3.
Oh, God.
They did. They overcompensated. I mean, it's been one of my biggest pet peeves with them, like that churn that, well, this thing isn't selling well because it's not great, so blow up, glow up, and then the other thing that's too good, then they just, But
so
we'll
what
see.
do you predict they're going to make too good in Skaven?
What are they going to... I mean...
based on what's good now.
Shooting.
Maybe... I think they think Warp Lightning Cannons are bad, even though they're not. So maybe they become insane and just totally broken.
I see them becoming a better Cruel Boys army. Big shooting, mortals, but their troops are more numbers for taking objectives, 3-inch range, more attacks than say Gut Rippers and Hopcroft.
You know what I'm most excited for though, when they talked about the rules, was just the combat range. Like I've been literally saying this since before AoS3 even came out. Like the way we do it is whack. It needs to be simplified, and they're doing it even simpler than 40K. It's not like you're measuring model to model. It's just like you just get your combat gauge out. You're just like, okay, who's in within 3 inches? Okay, let's go.
You have armies that go beyond that. Skaven will be 5 inches, and then these will be 6 inches.
Yeah.
It's going to expand again eventually by the end of 4th.
I need a
Lumineth
5-inch.
spears have a 12-inch range.
Yeah, I need a. Yeah, Lumineth spears have
Every direction.
Yeah.
One straight line. That's it.
Yeah. All right. So this 24-inch bubble can't enter it. Sorry.
Yeah.
For each 10 wardens.
Yeah.
They do love their Lumineth. Oh, and by the way, the size of the board is now 24 inches. You're like, damn it. Why?
It's a square. It's 24 by 24.
Yeah, that's like the combat range in Soulbound, that RPG for AoS. Yeah. It's so wacky.
I mean, you could have been real model size, and the wardens have a 3-inch spear.
Yeah, exactly. I thought they had a 24-inch spear. Those models are crazy. You can.
What are we eating, Carson? What do we got there?
Enchiladas.
Ooh. Lucky boy.
Ooh.
So
Very
this is the
nice.
first edition in decades that they got every codex in one edition and redone. Do we see it again next edition? My vote is no.
My vote is yes.
What was the question? Sorry.
So
will every book or every army get a new book this edition, since it's only been done once, maybe twice ever in Games Workshop history?
I think they will. Yeah.
Because
they do it in 40K.
They do it in 40K. Yeah, they did it in 9th.
Yeah, 9th.
Everyone got a
every
book.
book came out before they did 10th.
Yeah.
That being said, Guard had a book for like 2 months or a month before they reset it, but every single book came out.
It's basically like
They also-
FEC. So
They also directly said either in the article or in when they were speaking that while we're all going to be getting like these updated like rules packs or something like that, every book is going to get a release in the next few years.
Yeah, a few years, but that could be longer than 3, so then that'll be on to 5th edition.
I see.
Maybe,
I see.
but I think it's going to be. I think every book, every
I think
fact-
they've got that system down now where
They
they're
do.
pretty. Yeah.
We've been spoiled for like revamps in 3rd, I think, where we've gotten like Seraphon, Slaves to Darkness, Cities of Sigmar, Flesh Eater Courts. Those are going to be the books that have like the one hero releases that we've been having for a lot of the other factions in 3rd.
Yep.
I think that's going to happen for them in 4th, and so it's just going to be like a copy paste essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get the Skaven treatment they deserve.
Yeah.
Skaven from 3rd edition, I mean.
Yeah, like in this 3rd edition, year 1, we've seen the battle boxes, 2 armies, 1 hero, except Nighthawk and Sylvaneth, go at it. Then you've seen the book, 1 model, that and dice, and then you've seen the special box. But with COVID pushed things back, things happened, and shipping. They had a lot of books in the 6 months of last year. It was model book go, model book go.
Right.
People hated it because there was too much to get used to. And goblins were good, and KO was good, and beasts we didn't talk about till now, and they're good. It was a lot at once.
Yeah.
The way we do editions, 2 books dropped in 3.0 in summer. We didn't get Nurgle till February.
Yeah.
That's 8 months of nothing new. And then so you really have 8 months less than 36. So you have 28 months to pump another 22 books out.
Well, they don't like to. They tend not to release stuff in like December and those times. So I think what it was they came out with the books, and then they tend to wait till like around September for the first 2, the launch box, like the rest of their army. Like you get the launch box in June, and then you tend to get the their armies and their books in like September or early October, and then the November tends to be the Battle Force boxes and random crap.
Yeah.
And then they don't like to do stuff in December, and then they start that churn in the next year. So
November this year will be Blood Bowl new edition because every 4 years.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
2020, 2024. And nobody knew the last one was coming out until China leaked the whole book. There's a guy holding the book page by page.
Oh, brutal.
It's pretty good.
I mean, like, yeah, that's oof. I didn't really I never got into Blood Bowl again. Like, I played it way back in the 90s, but
I believe it's their most popular game.
What do you mean?
It's their most played game globally.
World Championship had 2,200 people or something stupid at it.
Yeah.
What?
It's extremely popular in Europe. Yeah.
Blood Bowl has been their biggest game for many, many years. You'd never guess it.
We got a 30-man league in Winnipeg, and there's 2 leagues.
Yeah.
That's wild.
My goal for 2024 is to get into Blood Bowl. It looks like a great game.
We could do it on the channel.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, and it's so little to paint, you know.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. I'd love to just like spend time. Yeah.
And get some like soccer hooligan-y vibes going on.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this channel's lacking at this point, is soccer hooligans, right?
I can say I've watched streams of them. People play games. They're not fun to watch, like AoS.
Oh,
like,
really?
They don't last. It's, yeah, Mini War Gaming's done some, and I've seen some others out there. Because it's the dice make the game, right? Like, it's not that you can plan things, because you can have everything in your favor, and you roll a 1 and you're screwed. Now it's your opponent's turn.
That's fair. I think, though, like, you know, I've watched my share of battle reports, and I know Kenrick has, and I'm assuming you guys have as well. And I do think that, oh, yo, Darren, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. I do think that, like, the game is obviously super important to the enjoyment of the people, but you can make, like, an okay game very enjoyable by being a certain way, probably, and vice versa. Like, you could have the best game ever, like AoS, which is obviously the best game ever they've ever created, and not every channel is the most interesting, right?
Right.
So
it's the people that make the game online or playing live.
Yeah. Like, you know, oh, good night, Braden, and anyone who's, you know, we're still winding the show down after all the hype overlord. But thanks for joining us. If you know, you guys were on fire tonight. Some savage comments. I really enjoyed it. But like, that's it, right? Like, I was just telling my kid, the worst job I ever had was actually secretly the best job. Like, I had this one job in Japan. It was super awesome, but my boss was the biggest turd of any human I've ever met, and I quit, you know? And so, you know, the people make the experience really at the end of the day. Yeah. So I'm not saying that we are those people. We would Blood Bowl. Okay. I think Blood Bowl would be a more difficult. I think
I'm just eating on stream. I'm not even engaging in this conversation. I'm just eating an enchilada while you guys talk.
And shaking your head at us. You judgmental mustache. Yeah. Give it to us. I mean, I do think that there are more difficult and easier games to make interesting. So, like, your point is likely, but, you know, like, there's a game that I won't name that I have played, I like, and I've watched 2 different battle report channels play it, and I never got through it. And so maybe that game is more difficult to make interesting, or maybe they're just not great at it, you know? I don't know. But, you know.
What do you guys want to see from this edition, for the whole edition, not just off the launch and the rules?
Do you mean, so you mean not the rules? What do you mean by that then?
Like I want to see, if every GHB came out in a Dawnbringer sized book with more lore, some characters, a regiment, army of renown, that'd be wicked. You get 3 in addition.
Right.
On top of a campaign.
Yeah. That sounds pretty awesome. I would like to see GHBs. This is probably going to be a bit of a hot take. I like the idea of the GHB being cards. Like I actually am one of the few people that is super down for that. Like bigger cards maybe, and then it has the battle plan on them, double-sided. You get the map out.
Right.
Yeah. And
I think we're getting a version of that, if you mean similar to 10th edition, where the battle tactics are card based and the map layouts are card based.
Yeah.
I think that we're gonna get some 10th edition style updates in AOS.
I'd be down for that. And I kind of like, one of the things that I like, I wasn't a huge fan of 10th edition, but one of the things that I did like was it's like you could the deployment maps are separate from the scenario is separate from the secondaries or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of twists. I think they tend to be a little too wacky. But like
the gambits or whatever they're called.
We called them twists in AOS 1, I think is what they were called. And I think they're called that in Warcry as well, but
that's what it is. So I don't play 40k ever at all. So in Warcry, which you still have from the original, was 4 decks of cards.
Yeah.
Terrain, objective, deployment, twist.
Yeah.
Good thing was you can rock it out, play a game, re-rack, leave the terrain, but then redo the objective, the twist and deployment, and go again. And in 2 hours, you can have a best of 3 match with your buddy.
Yeah. But the thing, so I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the twists because a lot of them are so wacky. It would just be like, oh, I guess you win. Like you could see from the outside, because it's like one of the main advantages in Warcry for Nighthaunt is that the whole army flies. Like it's a big deal for them, right? And it's like
it should be.
Yeah, it should be. Absolutely. And then one of the twists is no one flies. And you're just like, oh, well that's really so hurts my Nighthaunt, but it doesn't touch the Fire Slayers. And then, and you can combine that with scenarios and stuff. But putting all that aside, I like the idea of a modular system because you could also just be like, okay, like we drew step deployment. Well, I hate step deployment. I think it's a cancer in AOS. It's like one of the things that I would root out and burn forever. I think it's a waste of everyone's time. Like if you're, instead of doing step, just do the whole diagonal. Like if you really like diagonal, just do diagonal. The corner deployment is way better. Dawn of War, Hammer, and Anvil. I like all of those things. There's other things that I've seen too that I don't mind, but step is garbage. And so like if they have that, right? Like most people, let's be honest, most people are not playing at tournament, right? Most of the time, most of the games, even the tournament players, most of their games are not at tournament. Most of their games are with their friends, even if it's in preparation for tournament, right? So if you get step, you could just be like, yep, redraw, right? You know what I mean? Like, and they have that mulligan system, or not mulligan, but it's like a, what do you call it? Like a veto system in 40K as well, in 10th edition, where you can veto certain things. And so I just be like, I don't care if this plan makes me lose. I'm just going to veto step deployment. You know what I mean?
I like it. And it really changes tournaments from like what was the battle tactic or the battle plan last GHB? And if you can't be removed off the table, so Sylvaneth are shut down.
Yeah.
You couldn't pop away. You couldn't teleport. You couldn't do Stormcast or nothing. It's like, oh, Soulblight. And it's like, oh, you got rid of all those armies. Really nice map, really nice battle plan, but just that one rule killed it. So
it's killed it. Exactly.
Modular version would be really good because you're like, hey, we can play this with a different thing. And some twists are good. Some twists are terrible. I like the veto edition, but like no flying works great against Fire Slayers versus Giants. So
that's true. But then you could hopefully they kind of learn from some of the twists and different things that just totally screw over one side. But and they did in 40K. Like Maelstrom of War used to be a thing, and it was very wacky, and it was never meant for competitive play. But people liked the idea of drawing cards and the battle evolving as you went along. You didn't fully know what was going to happen and adapting on the fly and that kind of thing. So I would like, if they could do that and keep it fair, then that's the dream, right? Because you feel more like a battlefield commander, where it's not like things don't become rote, and I think that's a bit of an enemy of fun as well. But yeah,
I hope we get rid of the 1-drop. Gone.
Out of here. Interesting.
I prefer like, I hope that they make it so that 1-drop is like the worst option.
Yes.
I think that's the better solution, is that like they should incentivize taking other battalions more.
Reverse it. Most drops gets to pick who starts.
No, no, that's not what I mean. The benefits of like the other battalions outweighs dropping first, I think would be a big thing.
How would you do that?
It's a roll off, and a different battalion would give you the tiebreaker.
Sure.
And also, like, you get benefits from the like battalion itself. Like Warlord gives a extra CP, or like some little benefits that would, you know, or like the Wizard Hunters, like you get a +1 attack against wizards, or a 5-up ward against magic. Like, if you can fill the conditions of that battalion and maybe make them a little trickier to fill.
Right. Yeah, I like that. I would like it if we went back to at first I actually vehemently opposed when we went to the roll-off in 40K for who goes first, but I was really won over by, after playing it and noticing that, like, you know, it's like, okay, I'm a 1-drop, I know who's going first, I'm going to deploy because I know I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to alpha them, or whatever. Just just an example, right? Whereas when you have a roll-off, even if there's an advantage, tie, or even +1 back in the day, you're still just like, well, I could just auto lose this battle plan if I think I'm going first.
I think you should not get the choice on a roll-off too, like they have in 40K. Like whoever wins the roll-off has to go first. Yeah, and it's actually a kind of a disadvantage in 40K to go first.
Yeah, I would say that because then you have to do the same with priority, and I don't like that because that's what the roll-off is, trial, right? So by winning trial, you have to go. You're like, oh, this sucks. Okay.
I don't think they'd have to necessarily be the same, but I also am not against prio being whoever rolls higher goes, no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. And then it's not like
it's less controlled. Like it's still more of a.
Well, you don't feel like a dick either. You know what I mean? Like I played a game, you know, with a new person in our club, and I shouldn't have taken Skaven.
Stomped him.
I took Skaven, and that's always a mistake in a learning game, because whenever I do a learning game, I roll like a god. And with Skaven, you know, they tend to, what do you call it? Like it makes things more strong. Like either if you roll well, you do really well, and if you roll poorly, you do extra bad. Like things just kill themselves. So I unfortunately took Skaven, but he was playing Skaven too, so I thought I'd kind of show him, you know, like what you can do with them. And then I won priority going into 2, and it was already my game. Like it was my game, you know, whether I gave him the next turn or not. And I gave him the next turn. You know what I mean? Because it's a learning game, right? But like in another game, like in a battle report or whatever, you're just kind of like, sorry, man, I'm going to have to take it and stomp you.
It's a feel bad.
It is. It's a feel bad. And like, it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like, are you like in a game that it matters? You're supposed to be like, you know,
I would also say like things like the double turn or like winning priority on a roll off at the start of the game.
Yeah.
It's like the #1 source of somebody incorrectly applying the result of the game to dice rolls.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, it's just like, well, if I just won the double turn, then I would have won the game. Or like, well, if I just won priority, I would have won. And then it's just dice and it's not me kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the more you can reduce those moments, the better, I think.
Yep. Agreed.
I think they changed got rid of battle reg, because we've all played competitive games. How many battle regs are competitive lists that we play against? Lots. So that alone changes all those people's armies and lists to have different battalions, and it's a different game.
Right.
They could go low drop still, maybe just with bigger units, but it changes the game. You could also, swinging for the fences, have a really awkward battalion, but its only thing was if you lose the prior or lose deployment or whatever, your opponent has to take first turn.
Oh,
that's cool.
don't think it would be it's really like an outside game aspect, but it'd be like, hey, cool, I'm taking this, so you have to go first. You can't double it. So that changes your opponents trying to then get that.
Right. I like that. So in 40K2 in 9th edition, it was still you roll off and then whoever wins chooses. In 10th edition, or no, was that 9th edition? I think it was 9th edition. Either way, when they took away the decision, at first, again, I was like, oh, that's lame. I don't get to decide even though I won. And it's like, well, but that doesn't even matter. Like at the end of the day, like let's say I roll and I win, and I would have chosen to go second. It's still just a dice roll. It's still just like a 50-50 shot at either choosing or whatever. So if you remove those decision points, it just speeds up the game. And that's just something we all benefit from, I think. Anyway.
Real quick. Dacian Doze in chat just said, just tuning in now. Can someone give me the 20-word synopsis so far? I'm going to try and go for it, okay?
Do it. 20 words.
Ossiarch, Sylvaneth, Warbands. Flesh Eater Courts.
Question mark.
Cities. Sigmar. Underworlds.
Good.
Skaven Stormcast. 4th edition. Rules overall. Index for everyone.
2 more.
3 more. I got 3 more, I think.
Yeah. My shooter course is more words.
No, fine. 2 more. Cautiously optimistic.
Yay!
Sigmar lied.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was anyone else sort of? I love like for the last like week or so, I've heard everyone be like, "What did Sigmar lie about?" And it's like, oh, not that much. Just kind of like basic Stormcast shit. Like, you know, I was sort of surprised by that.
The concepts they now know, but us the readers already knew. So that was kind of lame. But it was who also said that. So now we see who said that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately still lame. Stormcast are saying it, that they know he lied. So we already know there's a civil war with slaves and chaos, and that chick's fighting against Be'lakor and his rebels. So now we're going to lead up to the end of the edition, the Age of Ruin, having a civil war with Stormcast. I hope not, but
I would love a civil war with Stormcast, or some of them just defecting into like uncontrollable, like lightning golems or something.
No, they break open the doors of Azir.
Ooh.
Now it's everybody's problem.
As long as it's not like a Horus Heresy cheap knockoff, you know.
We don't have enough characters.
We're 2/3 of the way there, my friend. I just hope they pull back the curtain and Sigmar's like, do not mind the man behind the curtain. And
yeah.
Just a little rat in a trench coat with another rat on top.
That's Sigmar. Sigmar lied. He was even a human or whatever. Yeah.
I think Trello said that last week. It's like, who lied? And he's like, oh, you're not actually Sigmar. It's like, yeah, he died like 1,000 years ago. Who are you? I'm Steve.
Yeah, I'm Steve.
The age
but
of
I've been doing this for 1,000 years. Pretty good.
Stevemar is that's what I was gonna say. Stevemar is the best. Yeah.
The age of Steve.
Age of Ruin.
Yeah. I'm Steve Mar. They call me Steve Mar.
You know. They're actually mispronouncing it. Age of Ron, not Age of Ruin. Ron is the guy.
Ron Mar.
Oh man.
Age of Ron Jeremy. Sigmar edition.
Oh god.
Oh no.
There are a few things that could get me out of this game, but that is one of them. Oh man.
He's kind of like an ogre kind of guy. Tyrant.
Yeah, we're just gonna switch it up a little bit. Like introducing John Raramy, new Over Tyrant.
First selection in the draft.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Overall, I think it was a good reveal show. Although we didn't see models from the box set, I think everything else was pretty good.
I think that was a mistake, but as long as they don't make us wait too long for the reveals, I'll be okay with it. I do hope that they do another reveal show.
To go up last year's standards, it was this one, the Warhammer Fest and the not 40K reveal show. So now we're going to the not 40K reveal / not Age of Sigmar reveal.
Right.
Who knows?
Well, and they seem to like keep the announcements to like when they're doing reveal shows pretty close to the vest. Like it's usually like a 2-week warning kind of deal. So I guess we could kind of find out any day, right? But
yeah,
I mean, realistically,
Warhammer was a month away.
Yeah, we're realistically 3 months away from 4th edition actually being in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like fully out. Yeah, we're like 2 months and a bit away, probably.
Yeah.
April to May to June, 3 months.
Yeah.
Like being conservative, it's going to be mid-June is when like 4th edition actually officially releases. I think.
Yeah?
So yeah, there's not a lot of time for them to like it's got to be something big soon. I think like before they kind of like reveal everything.
Well, yeah.
Because
I mean,
last year, but you missed that part. But last year was this time, and then April 29th, so just over a month later, was the whole. It was Warhammer Fest, which was Leviathan box and everything else, and a whole bunch of shit. And then they did the not 40K one with horse heresy and stuff, but it was a lot of the cities. It was the whole cities box, all the Seraphon, I think, and some more. So it was quite a bit. And then that was July 1st. So that was right after the launch of the box set. So if we go off timeline, there's nothing here until they release it. So there's got to be something.
Yeah.
It's not Warhammer Fest.
Well, I think it's best to compare it to 10th edition, right? 40K. And so we'll probably see the contents of the reveal of the box at Warhammer Fest.
There's no Warhammer Fest though.
It's not happening?
2024. It's gone.
Oh.
So we don't have nothing to go off of in that. Unless they have a random reveal day, Age of Sigmar day.
They might do that. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Although, if they do that, is it going to be at like 6 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time or whatever? BS.
Well, there was no reveal show for when they picked the winner of the box set, where it was like after Leviathan came out, who won more games when you report online with Space Marine, whatever. And then they had a reveal. It was just a Warcom article, but it was everything from the range. And that box first, which is Tyrannus.
Yeah.
So,
but that was after Leviathan came out. We don't even know what this box set's going to be called yet.
But you could just do a box set Warcom article, and here's everything in the box. Have fun.
I'd be down for that.
They revealed a complete range on them.
I hope they.
Article.
I just hope they do it at like a reasonable time, because I would love to be there for the announcement and the hype.
Well, it won't be live. It'll just be like, here's an article, everything in the box.
Yeah,
it'll be a random Wednesday or something.
I hope not. I hope they do a proper reveal, because it deserves it. I think the game is.
Yeah, I'll see.
Luke in the chat is asking, is there one of GW's tourneys coming up before the launch? There is one, which is in Dallas, which is going to be May 16th. So I think that's a little too close to when we're expecting 4th edition to be released for us to see like the reveals for this box.
Right. Yeah. They'll probably do an AoS day or something. I didn't know that Warhammer Fest was totally canceled. That's crazy. I'm surprised. They said Warhammer Fest is canceled, or we just don't. They didn't announce it.
Yeah, they're actually going to be revealing all of this stuff at Battered Bison.
That would be so sick.
That changes things up. Well, Battered Bison is great, but thank you. Kansas City in the U.S. Open last year was June 2nd and 4th, which was after Warhammer Fest, so we could see the first reveals at that event then. That would line up to a May event. Yes, it's a month away, but it's just what's in the box.
But we're expecting AoS4 to come out early June, right?
Pre-orders early June. Everything's on a 2-week pre-order now. A big box could be 3 or 4 weeks. We don't know. Nothing. But June 22nd is roughly the 3rd week of June is when 40K launched last year.
The Leviathan box came out late June?
On Battered Bison weekend. Yeah, it did.
Whoa. Okay. So
that's the same. No, we moved our event up. Sorry. Won't be the same weekend.
So then, interesting. Maybe. I mean, I was hoping for like an early June release, but that just gives me more time, so that's fine. You know,
I could see them doing a pre-order the first week of June, but then like 3 weeks earlier, here's a reveal show, everything in the box and the ranges really, because they might even leak or show some of the models off or a unit here and there first in articles.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all I've got for now. Is there anything you guys wanted to say before we call the stream here?
That was fun. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, dude. That was awesome. I'm glad Carson made it.
Me too.
Both of them. Yeah, I'm happy both Carsons were here.
Both Carsons.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, my friends, for tuning in back home.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. I hope you guys will join us again. We do stream normally every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Daylight Time now. So that'd be like, wait, how far ahead are you? Are you 2 or 3 hours? 2? Okay, so it'd be like 9 p.m. for you guys. Every Tuesday we try to do all the reveal shows we cover. Even sometimes it's just me by myself, but I was super thankful that we had never had 4 people on before, so this was awesome. Yeah, so thanks for coming on, both of you. Thanks, Beefy, Riley, both of you guys, both Carsons, and Kenrick. Everyone made an appearance. Thanks everyone for joining us. It was so much fun. The comments were savage and amazing. Yeah, and we'll see you guys at the